So what is your thoughts about that? Do you think that that would be probably the main fact? Because nobody else is taking their games down, from what I've heard. It's
Well,
only
I
been
will
Death
say that
Stranding.
that contract is not as tight as people think it is. So
Okay,
I don't know
all
what they'll
right.
do with it in regards to that,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know all the ins and outs of it. But from what I understand, it's not your typical exclusive sort of contract when it comes down to it. I mean, there's a reason why he owns his own studio and Sony doesn't
Right.
own him. So in regards to that, and yeah, you were when you were asking me. Oh, actually, you know what? That was another subject. Yeah, I think that was in the background where you're saying when Phil was talking about what something and all the stuff hidden in his background behind him.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember.
Yeah, so I think one of the things was Death Stranding in the background.
Welcome to the GRG podcast, the place for all your gaming news, plus hot topics of the week. Also, remember to follow us on Twitter at KMega4.
What's happening, everybody? The GRG podcast is live. What's happening? What's going on? I caught PK in mid sentence. I don't know what he was going to say. He's probably saying he was cooking himself some Pop Tarts, some sausage, and some jelly and jam right now. Breakfast for
Wow.
dinner. I know. I just kind of just throw that all together. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Man, we're going to have one hell of a show. We got a lot to talk about. But before that, we have a guest, or I can't even call this person really a guest. Pretty much this is, you know what I'm saying, somebody has came home back to the GRG house. It's been remodeled, but Delilah HD, you better take your shoes off and come in here.
Man.
We clean some things up around here. What's happening with you, man? Welcome back, lady.
What's up? What's up? It's been a while. Glad. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate that. Yeah, I look forward to it. Going through these topics and stuff. So yeah, good to
Okay.
be. What you call it? Home.
Yeah, it's home. It's home. I mean, it's where we started. You know what I'm saying? It's where we all started from day one on GRG. So it's like,
Yeah.
can't be a guest. So it's like, yeah, y'all been
Yeah,
doing
that's
y'all's
kind of
thing out
true. I
there?
mean,
Yeah,
hey, this is where we started.
yeah.
Growing the gaming kind of spit off of this. A lot of people don't know that, but
Oh,
yeah,
people know that. I mean, if they paid attention to the Iron
people
Lords when I
know.
did the,
I'm surprised.
yeah.
One person asked me. It was crazy. Hit me up in DMs and, "Have you heard of GRG, y'all logos look kind of similar. Like, yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
So if you ever look at the gaming logo, it does look a little bit similar. We try to pay homage to where we started, but yeah, we also add our own little spin to it too, so it's a bit unique. But
Right.
yeah, man.
And y'all's clothing line is hot, man. I see
Thank
people.
you, thank
Yeah,
you.
it's nice. So it's great, man. I'm proud. I always try to support as much as I possibly can with the ladies, man. I mean, I got a little heat, a little flack before the show. Since she was saying, I seen when you was talking about everybody going around and they spin off. You got 108 Dragons doing his thing. You got PK out there with 4 guys with quarters. You got this, you got that. You know what I'm saying? You got the living podcast or the living. I can't even say that right.
Split screen.
Yeah.
Split screen. I want to say living single. So
Split screen.
we live. You know what I'm saying? But my boy Pog and them, and so I'm like, man, yes, and then of course, yeah. But you know what? GWG was the first one to really spin off from GRG, and man, the ladies is doing fantastic. They hit over that 1,000. They making money now. Hey, Lady Infamous. You know what I'm saying? You remember when I first hit that monetization, and the first thing we talk about, hey man, where that money at? Hey man, I need some of that cheese. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? I get kickback for like about 5%, right? Anyway, she's knowing the truth now when it comes to that YouTube monetization. Oh man. But anyway, it is great to have you back, man. Thank you so much for coming through and saying what's up. So we're gonna keep going on, getting to the rest of the crew. Oh man, there were so many people hitting me up about D for all this week. She killed it. She murdered it, man. People were like, "Who is this new girl, man? What is going on?" Man, I'm telling you, she's the new sensation, man. She's about to get things popping off, man. Her and my girl Mitchie. I can't wait. I'm just looking for one more lady before we start off GRG Extra. But D, what's been going on with you? How you been?
I've been good. Just chilling, going back to some old stuff. Just chill. This week actually kind of flew by for me personally, so I'm surprised it's Friday already again, but that's all right.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
yeah. I was reading some of them chats on Twitter today. I was like, I don't know what's going to be what's going on, but let me make sure things is cool. I you know what I'm saying? A lot of people were just they were like, man, who is that? Man, she was killing it. Yeah, you was on fire last week. On top of 108 Dragons TV, brother. That I don't know. I don't know. That has to go down as that has to go down as instant classic with Lemon, man. I don't think I've ever heard that much energy come out that man. As long as I've been knowing him, that was some damn energy, Jack. But anyway, shout out to 108, man. Bloody said he couldn't make it tonight, so shout out to Bloody. Yeah, he had to do his thing. He had to go to a funeral, so you know what I'm saying. So I hope everything is going well on his end. You know what I'm saying. Send my condolences to his family and friends. So all right, but let's get to it, man. The main man who got the morning show before the ladies kick off. Man, my main man, Still Rain. What's happening with you, brother?
It is I am him, the one and only Still Rain. What's going on? Look, man, the Rain is back in the GRG kingdom, getting it to you live, raw and uncut. K Mega, you already know how we give it to him.
Oh, yeah.
Look, man, the week has been outstanding. We're mad news all over the place. A lot of topics we could throw around. So I think we're gonna have some interesting discussions, as I say, in ways that you probably did not expect. So hopefully y'all buckled in. Look, man, it's been a long week. It's Friday. Let's get the weekend started, baby. Let's get to the games. Let's go.
Let's get to it. All right. And then PK Live, man. The man who talks to all the celebrities now, man. I don't know. How can I be down? You know what I'm saying? What's happening, PK Live? What's going on, man? You big time now, man. We big time. I need an autograph.
What are you talking about, man? I'm just around the corner. And hey, man, I'm just glad to be here. Hey, welcome everybody. I like the energy in the house. We got a lot of rumors and things to discuss. Like to hear everybody's perspective, and let's just get it. We got too much to waste time on me. Let's get it going.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And last but not least, man, the man that holds us down. It used to be the ladies that used to hold us down and keep us even keel, but man, we got my boy Six Slayer, man. He's the one that keeps us even keel right now. So, hey, what's going on with you, Six Slayer? How you been, brother?
Hey man, yo, the week really did go by real quick. I gotta admit, raw. But at the same time, lots of crazy news left and right, and it make for lots of topics. So let's just hit them up because I'm quite agitated about, I still can't get my VR headset because I keep getting disappointed in the people, I paid my money to. But that's some outside things. I got my agitation all riled up. So let's talk about some topics that'll keep my mind off of it.
Okay.
Oh boy.
No doubt. Man, I got two people in here that's not in the best of moods. So I got to be on my best behavior tonight. I can't say nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, did you hear GRG? Man, you got cussed out by everybody. Lord have mercy. Anyway, all right, so let me go ahead and knock it out. I was going to go ahead and do that before we got started, Lady Infamous, but hey, I got you. Thank you for the support. You said I can't wait to get back on the show. I'm going to act a fool. Oh, snap. You know what I'm saying? What else is new? What else is new? You know what I'm saying? Hey, I had my Delilah was the sweet, but Infamous was the sour. So it was just, the combination was perfect. Everything was right. So, hey, I can't wait for you to come back on as well. Hey, and I will reach out to the rest of the ladies, to El Boogie, to Sharice. Man, I might try to have an episode to where I can bring all y'all on, man. If people are like busy, got things to do, or they want to take a break, I might try to see if I can reach out to y'all, see if y'all want to come on and just have it a ladies fest. That's let the women represent GRG. But anyway, she says, Delilah HD, we love you, and we in GWG in the building. GWG versus everybody. Okay. Hello, chat. Anyway, okay, so one more thing before we get to the first topic. Delilah HD, talk about your show, talk about everything within it. Real fast, let the people know about GWG Gaming, man, the Grown Women Gaming sensation.
Sure. So basically what Grown Gaming is, it's a podcast that we have every Saturday, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific in the morning now. We chop it up. We talk about gaming news, things that we love in the industry, things that's going down, kind of like what you have here. But I see it's a little bit different because we try to focus on, keeping things positive, what we plan, and whatnot. So it's a cool vibe. It's like I said, it's just the four of us chopping up. Sometimes we have guests. Our last guest was Carl Ledbetter, Xbox's Carl Ledbetter, who designed the Xbox Series X, the Elite controller and whatnot, even the scroll wheel and the mouse. So yeah, it was a nice little conversation.
The younger guy or the older guy?
The older guy, Carl Ledbetter.
Oh man, he was. I got pictures of him. We were both lit at the party, man. Hey man, shout out to him, bro. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Carl. So yeah, that was a pretty good discussion that we had. That was last week, I believe, when we had the interview. So yeah, we just try to keep it fun, have a great time, and we're growing, so it's been good. It's been good, yeah.
No doubt. And everybody out there, please, if you would be so kind, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, man. I really would appreciate it. And share this out. Let people know GRG is live right now, man. And let people hear the great conversations that we have and everybody on the panel that just give out some just great information, man. So if y'all could do that, that'd be fantastic. All right, first topic.
I was gonna say, before you pivot though, as you mentioned though, like we're all in the chat right now. So it's myself, Delilah HD, Cherise, El Boogie, and of course Lady Infamous. So it's the four of us.
No doubt. Yeah, no, I see him up in here. I see Cherise saying, ooh.
Yeah, they all up in here. Yeah.
I see him up here, El Boogie. Guns up. Do your damn thing. Oh man, my main man Thomas Franks. We was talking earlier, man. That's my bro, man. He's been. Man, there's been so many people that's been here that support me from the day that I started. But man, I gotta say, man, Thomas, man, you one of those dudes that's been there from the get, man. I definitely appreciate your support. He says, "Yo, GRG, let's go. Respect you guys for always giving a good show. Queen Delilah HD, good to have you back. Support the new Game Pass burgers." Hey, bro, that little conversation was funny, man. That Xbox is doing all types of shit, man. I mean, it's wild. I might do a little tidbit about that if we have time. But anyway, let's get to it, man. Outriders has been the new sensation right now. A lot of people have been playing it. I've heard more positive than I've heard negative. Of course, they've had the crash issues and whatnot. But I've also heard that a lot of people are just can't stop playing it, even though it might not be their favorite game that they've ever played, but it's something so addicting to this game that they keep going back. Now, with that said, there's a patch that came out, and I was playing it with my boy GDS, Game Down Sites, and Unstable, and we were almost, I think, close to the end of the game, and
Oh wow.
they were saying they was doing maintenance. We was trying to hurry up and get past this one spot, but we didn't have enough time. So, but they're doing all these patches, and so some of the it definitely needs some patches. But some of the things that I'm a little nervous about, I did a video about it, is about the nerfing that they're going to be doing within the game. The game has some of the smartest AI I've ever seen in a game, and so the question is, and I'm going to go bring this straight to the guest, to you, Delilah, is what do you think? I mean, I know that patches are welcome, especially when games are broken, but what about nerfing the weapons? It seems like the game just plays fluid. Or have you even played Outriders yet?
Oh man, I'm loving Outriders. I'm like level 21.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just hit 21. Oh, but yeah, I loved it. The gameplay loop, the world. I mean, yeah, it's grown on me. I mean, some things about it, like the loading screens, some stuff is like, okay, they didn't need a load screen right there. But yeah, I mean, it's a fun game. I think as far as the nerfing is concerned, I think it's just part of balancing. They're gonna do what they think is necessary to make the game, as far as the length of time, so people can kind of, as far as controlling pacing and whatnot. So they're gonna do what they need to do, what they think is necessary. I personally think it's fine because you can always just increase the difficulty. So if the powerful weapons is too much or is, I guess, killing the enemies too fast, they can just, modify the difficulty. But I mean, it kind of is what it is. This happens in every game as far as balancing is concerned. I just hope they don't nerf my character. We good. We don't nerf
Who is your character?
I am a trickster, and I got a nice build as far as my weapons is concerned. So I mean, I didn't want to go too deep on it, but yeah, I think the combination between the weapons, the modifiers you can put on the guns, and some of the abilities you get is, for me, my character it feels fun. It doesn't feel like I'm blowing through the game. It still feels challenging. Boss fights are still taking me quite a bit of time, so I don't feel like, hopefully, I don't feel like I said, for me, some people say, now, I've been, since I'm leveled up to past 20, the game's starting to feel a bit easy for them. For me, it doesn't. I don't feel that at all yet. You know what I mean? I'm at 21. I don't feel that. I don't feel like it's easy. It still feels challenging. So I don't know what the nerfing is going to do.
It's basically they're going to nerf they're going to nerf a little bit of everything. The trickster is definitely going to be going to get nerfed. The pyromancer, because that's what my main character that I've been playing with, she's going to get nerfed. They're going to take down the volcano weapons. I think by 30. I think it was what 40-50%, but they're going to drop it down, I think, to by 5-10% with that. And then there's just other things. I mean, there was a huge list. I'll probably put that link in the chat so people can go and read through it.
Chance to read through that, but that's.
Yeah, it makes me a little nervous. I mean, does it make you a little nervous too? Yeah, I mean,
a little bit. It's a little bit because I'm having fun, right? Like I'm enjoying what I'm playing right now, and so knowing there's some change coming is it's a little disheartening.
Right. Yeah, and I understand the positive things of the patch of people finding ways, and that's the one thing about gamers. If they play a game long enough, they're going to find shortcuts and ways to get all the legendary weapons and everything. Yeah, they'll break it, but so they'll patch that. But other things beyond that, it's kind of crazy to me that the weapons and how the weapons are used because of the way the AI performs, and especially when you're playing at the higher tiers, just seems perfect. The last time that we played, I said, man, this game still feels so good. I hope whatever that they're going to do, it works, but I don't know. But let me go ahead and go to the next lady in the room, D. Have you been playing some Outriders, and what do you think about the whole patch situation? I mean, you think this is a good thing, or is some of these things that you may have read or found out about making you a little nervous?
It doesn't make me personally nervous because honestly, I'm still pretty low level.
Oh, okay.
Because I was having a big issue with connecting with people. Not a server issue, but like I would connect to people and they would like kick me out. So I've been pretty much alone on Outriders this entire time.
Man, you could have been playing with any of us, man. Man, just hop in.
I know, but it was just like I would find people on my friends list. It would be like 2 of us, and then they get more people, and I would just get kicked. And I was just like, okay. And I just haven't played in a couple of days. But as somebody who doesn't play like a lot of looter shooters, I guess things getting nerfed can kind of be a bummer. But as what I'm noticing, because I just loaded up with the patch and everything, I'm not noticing a huge difference. But then again, I'm super low level. I'm only like 15. I'm only on world tier 4 because I kept dying. So I hope, everything goes smoother and there's a lot of balancing that's taking place so folks can kind of get more longevity out of the game. Because one thing I noticed with Outriders, besides there being no storefront, which I was very impressed with, is that I haven't heard like any plans for anything in the future, which is cool because I'm so used to, a game coming out and then even before it releases, it's like, oh, we're going to release this DLC and do all this. So it's kind of refreshing, but it's also a little mysterious because it's just like, are they planning something? Are they going to add more to the game? So I'm hoping for right now, after all the server issues and these patches, that, it's more balanced and it just kind of helps more people get in the game, doing more crossplay. But I haven't noticed anything specifically with weapons, and I'm not necessarily worried about it, but I could be wrong. I could always be wrong.
Well, yeah, no, I get that. So before I move on, I'm going to go to Slayer on this next. But before I do that, I want to ask you this question: do you think that sometimes that developers get into a mode where they want to tinker so much that they push away the people who are actually enjoying the game as is, so they can try to bring in other new game members to their game? Do you think that could be one of the things that they do that kind of suspect a little bit?
That could be the case. I've been burned by that a little bit with Red Dead Online. That kind of happened when they nerfed like the daily challenges, and to this day I don't get why they did it. So I'm hoping it's nothing of that caliber as far as them nerfing it to kind of bring in a broader audience. Because I don't, I'm not like the greatest at shooting and everything, and I felt Outriders had a great playability as far as like jumping in. Here's the button to shoot. Here's the button to do your little abilities. So I don't feel like it's really hard to get into. So I'm hoping that's not the reason or the motive behind it. But to be fair, this game's been out, what, a week? Maybe?
A week.
Or so? Yeah, so I'm hoping, right now it's just making it a smoother experience. Because they did have that rough of a launch with the servers and things. So I'm hoping that's what it is, but it's not anything more drab than that.
Okay, no doubt. All right. What about you, Slayer? How you feel about this situation?
All right. Well, as I said last week, I'm quite the odd one out because I'm not playing Outriders. I have no interest in playing
man, I don't even know.
Whoa, slow your roll. But at the same time, I have no personal one way or another about the game. I have enough on my plate, so I'm not personally interested in playing it. But it also gives me a unique perspective, right? To see it as an outsider with no personal opinion of the game in and of itself. So it doesn't matter to me what's being said. I can just see it for what it is.
Right.
And, but it's the age-old question of, balance, nerfing this, nerfing that, boosting this weapon or character in a fighting game. This is the common thing. I mean, we see this all the time. Street Fighter, most recently Tekken, with that Leroy, I forget his last name, but that character who does the Wing Chun.
Leo Jenkins? Yeah.
Leroy Jenkins? I think that's the World of Warcraft thing. I don't think his last name was Jenkins.
I thought it was Jenkins.
Leroy Smith.
Oh,
Leroy
Smith?
Jenkins is the World War Warcraft thing. You remember Leroy? That's that. Anyway,
hey man, I'm giving him his own name. He should have been Jenkins, not Smith, but that's okay. All right.
There you go.
Hey, they have to pay Blizzard some money or that YouTuber or whatever. So that ain't gonna happen. So anyway, it's the age-old balance situation. Look at Call of Duty. They're not too good at that, and I don't think it's because of a lack of effort. Although they've had some examples of weapons. Like you remember in Modern Warfare 2, they had the what people like to refer to as the twin bitches, because you would get those two shotguns and be blasting people with them. Like, you know, and even though they nerfed it that first time, it clearly wasn't enough. And in fact, frankly, it really didn't change anything until they nerfed it again. And there's been other examples of you know, failed nerfings in characters, fighting games, weapons, whatever, what have you. So, you know, it's yet to be seen how people react to these changes the patch just came out. But the fear is, no matter how well implemented these changes are, there's also the optics, the perception of what they've done, and if people will accept it and move on or not. Because this is also a game with finite content, and people are cracked out on it still. It's only been a week, and the DLC situation, we know they haven't announced anything in the future, in particular. And in fact, wasn't there some mention that they don't really have a plan for a lot of DLC for this game?
No, they did mention that they are going to be doing some DLC, but it's going to be a ways away. So they are going to be bringing some extra content.
Right. And the reason I asked it is because it's needed, but it's pretty clear it's going to take a while if they had planned it, and apparently they do. So I think before the DLC will even be out, like, everybody will already be finished with the game, because at the rate people are going, I'm seeing everyone play this game 24/7. If I look at my phone, I'm getting invites, and I keep having to tell people I'm not interested in playing the game. I have nothing against the game one way or another. I really don't. I just have enough on my plate. So, you know, I'm seeing people play it all the time, and I think what's going to happen is people are just going to get burnt out long before the DLC is out, and when the DLC comes, then it's going to be another perception thing if people decide to pick it back up or not. And so there's a lot of unknowns in the situation. So we're just going to have to sit back and watch how it plays out.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, let me give a big shout out to Stone King X, man. Thank you, appreciate the support. Thank you so much. As my boy Xbot448 would say, I got to do his name right. Xbot448. He always repping, you know, the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the people in the East Coast, but you got to understand the Lord's time is actually the Central time. Anything else is.
All right.
Yeah. Let's get that right. Anyway.
Oh, freaking country, bro. Only country.
All right. So anyway, sorry, my brother said, level 21 Trickster in Outriders. Just got my first legendary weapon today. I call this game outright crack. Great podcast. Keep up the great work, man. LOL, man. Thank you so much, man. And listen, I got 3 legendaries. And so I'm really happy. I got a crazy looking like bone like weapon. It's a semi-automatic rifle, but it looks like it looks like it actually looks like the if because you know the people who made the game made Gears Judgment. So it actually looks like the gun with
Too. Like if you look at the stream.
Oh, the stream went black?
Or he
Oh.
probably lost connection.
Are we good?
Back.
Yeah,
There you go.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
yeah. Oh
Okay.
man, hold on. Let me.
Yay.
Whoa. Because I looked and I said, "Hey, nobody's saying that back." Okay, all right, cool. All right, we still living.
Hey,
We
that's
still
how you
here.
bring it back.
I think we're still. I mean, I don't know if we're still live. I mean,
Yeah, we're still
Yeah,
live.
we're still live.
Like
We're
all
still
black.
live. Yeah, I sit there and something happened and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, we're still good.
Okay,
We're
all right,
good.
All right,
right,
good
bet.
deal. All right, cool. Let me
Yeah, we're good.
unplug some stuff. Anyway, all right. So I don't know what the hell just happened, but anyway, yeah, no. What I was saying was that the gun. What was the gun called on Gears with the chainsaw on it? Is it the
You talking about the
Lancer?
Lancer?
The Lancer, yeah. It looks
You
like
sound
that.
like you're talking through a different input, Megan, too, by the way.
Does it? Hold
Yeah.
on. Let me go
Yeah,
ahead and try
yeah.
to change this up. All right. Sorry.
Oh, you're all good. I just wanted everybody to hear that crispy voice.
I know. All
It's
right.
also no
You know what I'm
gameplay
saying?
either.
Well,
But
yeah, I know.
guess that'll come.
I want to go ahead and try to get that
He's
fixed
the
too.
host. You gotta hit a host.
I got buttons to hit, but anyway, I got a fat finger it. So anyway,
No, you good.
let me go ahead and go
You
to
like that.
let me go to you then, Still Rain, and see if I can try to get the voice and stuff fixed up. Okay, what do you think about the whole patch situation?
For me, I'm of two minds about it, man. Honestly, it does not bother me that they feel like that they need to patch it. For me personally, because the game has only been out for a week, I know everybody's been saying, "Oh well, you know, what information do they have to be patching the game and nerfing stuff and whatnot?" And it's one of those things for me where I've been looking at it as if the developer felt like that wasn't their intention for the abilities to be used like that, then that's why it's getting nerfed. And it's not about it, because it's not, about it being PvP or PvE or what the game's about. Like, my thing is, who are we to tell the developers what they're trying to do with their game? Obviously, they saw something that was out of whack for them, that was out of balance for them, and that's why they initiating the patch. The biggest issue that I've had with Outriders personally is the connection problem. In the beginning, it was I couldn't get into the game at all. It's the whole first day I couldn't get in. The whole second day I couldn't get in. But honestly, when there's a game that is expected to underperform and that people downplay, when the game releases and on day one, day two, I'm having an issue to get into the game, it demonstrates to me that people were actually, well, two things. Game Pass actually did more for the game than what people expected. Two, people jumped into the game because of Game Pass. Or three, actually, there's three things. But with three, people were, I don't want to necessarily say cap, but let's just say cap. People were capping about not being interested in it. And this blatantly shows it. Square Enix wasn't ready. That's blatantly obvious. It's also obvious that they didn't want to spend the extra money after almost already taking a $70 million loss on a popular quote unquote IP using Marvel characters. So they're not expecting a new IP like Outriders, or they didn't have enough faith in what People Can Fly could do, or they just didn't have enough faith in themselves to put out a good product, and they didn't invest. So that's what we're seeing right now. What I'm loving about it, though, is that they're being very active and communicating with the players. And that's one of the most key things that you can do as a dev. People are riding their backs and everything else. And it's like, bro, like at the end of the day, I understand where people are coming from. Well, you're tired of games coming out day one when there's something that need to happen. And look, I understand where you're coming from, but fortunately or unfortunately, we're in a day and age where there's most of the time going to be a day one update. Unless you're going to get in there with the devs and work on the game with them, or or actually give them some critical and concise criticism, then you need to shut your mouth and wait. I understand if you weren't. If the bugs and everything else bothers you so much, then return the game. Xbox will do it for you, and they don't care. If you're playing it through Game Pass, guess what? You can go play a different game. Again, I feel as gamers, we're so stuck up in ourselves that it's like I understand where everybody's coming from, man. But at the same time, that's why we have access to other games. You don't have to play this game right now. Yeah, you were hype about it or whatever the case might be. But if it's not working right now, it's just not working right now. There's nothing else that you can do. And it is what it is at that point. I think the things that they are going to establish with the patch and everything, with some of the nerfs, from what I've heard from some people, is that some of the nerfs have already been implemented, and they haven't noticed a huge change. And then others are just kind of like waiting, well, where's the connection patch? And apparently they're trying to get that put in tonight, and they're kind of running into issues or whatever the case. And that's the main thing for me. Get the connection right, because you did say that this is supposed to be a co-op game. It's a co-op experience, and you've turned it into a single player experience, and people are mad because they're finding ways to benefit in this single player experience. You know what I mean? And kind of feel like they're being shafted because you're making it more difficult, and nobody can connect to each other. Crossplay is something that you promise. Co-op is something that you promise, and it's something that you have to have on lock. When you're coming from the demo where everything was running smooth, they were getting constant updates. It was kind of demonstrating to you. That's why I bought the game on PC, even though I have an Xbox. I bought the game on PC because after I played the demo for that 7 hours, I had full faith in the game. And mind you, they kept updating the demo after that. But there was no issues. Everything ran flawlessly. It kind of is blatantly obvious when a game comes out when it was just running smooth, and now that on day one now there's issues. So, but overall, I think it's gonna be good overall. So we'll see how it goes, man.
All right. All right, so is everything back to normal? Do I sound normal now?
Yeah, you sound perfect.
All right, look. I know, like, this is something that Delilah can attest to right here.
Stream is nice and smooth too.
Is that if this was the old days, I probably would have had to shut it down.
Yeah, shut down.
I had to shut it down. Thank God that I've learned and know how to push these buttons, boy. Because I tell you, because it was crazy. Because I was like, what the hell just happened? And then looks that Discord just all of a sudden just decided that they wanted, hey, my camera wanted to had a mic and it wanted to recognize it. It says, hey, you have a new mic. Do you want to switch to it? No. So it was good. So yeah, so I was doing that. So anything, but it was real weird because it messed up the gameplay of OBS. I don't know what that was about, but oh well. But I changed it up. But anyway, all right, man. Great point. PK, it's your turn, brother. How much Outriders have you been playing? And what do you think about the patches, man? I mean, I know that the patches for the most part are good, but do you think that and what Still Rain was talking about, that like some people haven't noticed, because I haven't played since the patch happened this morning. Have you heard anything from anybody that's been complaining about the new patch, or is everything going well at this point?
So I got it on Xbox and PC. Shout out to Aaron over at Square Enix who gave me a code for Steam.
Listen to this big, look at this big boy status. Listen to that. Hey man,
listen, we was trying to give away Xbox codes, but nobody wanted them. They took our PlayStation codes though. Try to get some more out there for you guys.
Okay, well, shit, all you gotta do is, hey man, an Xbox code, bring it, send it. Yeah, send it.
You gotta tune in, bro. Tune in.
Hey, bro, I'm a man of, I got time to
let me tell you, we got plenty of Xbox codes going around.
All right, hey man, what my boy Frank Thomas say on that commercial? Hey man, just send a text.
Hey man, that's what's up. So I've been posting it on Twitter all the time. You ain't seen my. He don't pay me no attention.
Listen, here we go.
It's all right. It's all right. So let me tell you, okay? Outriders is starting out just the way Borderlands 3 started out, okay? And I don't know if you guys are Borderlands fans, and I'm gonna be humbly disagreeing with you, Still Rain. You're my brother, but I disagree with you, okay? This is the co-op game. Co-op. PvE. There is no reason you should be doing any balance changes before you fix the game. None. And that was the biggest complaint of Borderlands 3 when it first came out. It's because they were nerfing characters before they start fixing the game itself. I mean, even to this day, if you're on the 1X and you try to join your friends, you can be randomly have your whole console shut off. And Borderlands, of course it runs smooth now. You know, it's pretty good outside of that. But yeah, no one wants the whole point of Borderlands, which was the king of looter shooters in the beginning, right? This is the whole point, is to create overpowered builds that are super ridiculous. That's the whole point of it. Is to run through there, farm bosses for drops, and have ridiculous dumb builds. The problem is, and you looking at the usage of characters that are overused and seem kind of strong. It's because you have not buffed the other skills or the other usage. No one can find a better way to make a combination of things that work as well as the everyone wants to be overpowered. Everybody does. Of course that. Everyone loves to feel good when they're playing the game.
Mhm.
And if you only make it to where and if you feel like as devs that something is a little too strong or something is being overused, then you need to buff the other things because you got an entire class that no one uses in the end game because it's too weak.
I'm sorry.
Mhm.
No buffs. Remember, this patch has no buffs. None. All nerfs, including to the drops, including to the end game, which is the expedition. All nerfs. All nerfs. It is the wrong way to go. If you want people to continue playing, you got to make it enjoyable in different ways. It's not going to change the behavior. People still going to play with the same builds because it's the only one that is effective that gives them the most value in return. And that is the same way with Borderlands 3. Borderlands 2 was not like that. You could play the game in so many ways. It was crazy. And that's what the biggest criticism of Borderlands 3 and unfortunately for Outriders, it's in the same position.
Uh,
Devs make the game for us to enjoy, not make the
Mhm.
game based on what they want us to do. You can't change people and make them play how you want them to play. That's crazy. Why do you think Overwatch people still don't push the cart, push the objective? Because everybody wants to be DPS. All right. The thing is, just like all the other games, you got to, instead of trying to force people to play positions, make those other positions just as fun as all the other roles. Then people will change behavior. You cannot make nobody play differently because
hey,
trust me
Cake, I
when
got a
I tell
question
you,
about what you're saying.
yeah,
I have a question about what you're saying. Because what you're saying makes me wonder. Maybe do you think like they're doing this on purpose, maybe to stretch out the life of the game because the
Yes,
DLC
that's what
will
I
be taking
fear.
a while?
That's exactly what I
part
think. That's what
part
I
of it,
think.
yes,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Hmm.
As soon as you said that, I thought of that.
Hmm.
yeah, part of it is to try to uh create some kind of fake. It's kind of like the what was the other game that uh adjusted the experience so it could take longer to level up, and they just did that recently.
Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel,
Avengers was it?
Marvel
Mortal
Avengers.
Kombat did the same thing as well, didn't they? With their
Mhm.
And
unlocks
That's a
in the
fighting game,
crypt.
though. But yeah, I feel you.
Yeah,
but
it was the same
but
concept though, right?
well, I'm talking
Mhm.
about just the co-op game, right? Where you just
Yeah.
farm and loot, right? Marvel Avengers also launched in a bad shape, and it never got its uh, attachment rate. Never did. It literally fell off the block. I'm not saying I don't have fun playing the game, but I get super frustrated because the game is still buggy to this day. I have to
Mhm.
reload checkpoints to get enemies to spawn, which is ridiculous. This is April. The game launched in September. You get what I'm saying? And the same thing with Borderlands. As much as I love Borderlands 3, I loved it, bro. A lot of people dropped off because of all the whack changes to a co-op game that is PvE. Who
Hmm.
cares how powerful you are? That's why people play it, to try and run over people as crazy ideas, go into the lab, try to make changes, try to optimize as much. That's part of the game. But if you don't make any other build viable, that's the problem. You're not making it interesting. You're making it worse.
Well, see, yeah, I thought and I do sound fine because I know Range. I see Range G4 in here is over here clowning me because my mic is he said it has a bad net code. It is. That's why I'm trying to got to be still. But no, that's the thing that I feared the most is that I thought the game had the perfect system because people could play how they want to with the tier system. Because when you start getting to level 9 and up, it gets real. I'm a level 11, about to be a level 12 tier. So I thought the balance was perfect because if people didn't want to go through that extreme playing with with the AI, they can always go to like level 5. Why that's and you didn't hear anything in the patch that said that they were going to nerf the enemies. So that's why I agree with
You
you
didn't fix the
100%, PK.
snipers. The snipers can shoot through walls. They got pinpoint accuracy.
That's
You
what I
can.
mostly am as a sniper,
It,
yeah. Even though I'm a
it's
pyromancer.
no, no, not you. I'm talking about the enemies.
Oh yeah, yeah, the enemies is crazy.
Pinpoint accuracy with their sniping.
Hmm.
Ridiculous tracking. But none of that was adjusted. And this is what I'm saying is, you want the player experience to get better. You want to fix the connections. You want to fix the crashing. You want to fix the broken part of the game. Don't start doing rebalancing. That is the wrong idea. You don't want to start touching on that. And if you do, you need to bring up all of the unused builds to a level where it makes sense to use them. Because no one is going to play uh, the trickster with the bottom tree because it's too weak. And if you do, you're just going to get wrecked because it's too weak. And that's just the be honest truth. And it's, you get more value out of the top tier because it does too much damage, right? Especially if you get the shotgun. I mean, I'm just giving you. And then you got the one of the tanks. I can't remember the name, but it's the weakest class, and you didn't give it no buffs, no value, no gun advantage perks, no nothing. And it's crazy because I've seen people getting kicked out of lobbies if they're that class on the end game. Like, they won't play with them, and it's not their fault. It's kind of like, and I'm just being I'm criticizing because I'm a fan of the game, not because I am upset of it. But it's the same difference with Borderlands. I mean, you guys can see my time I put in. I put in a lot of time in these games, and you want it to be great. And it's just usually backwards, taking the enjoyment from the people who's putting in the time away from them because you want to artificially uh, 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 inflate the longevity of the game instead of actually creating longevity, right?
Right.
And instead of trying to slow down the EXP and the weapons drops, why don't you just create different weapons that are what's it called, specific to the class? And then people can be hunting for those specific class weapons that will give you benefits specifically for that build or that class. Stuff like that.
I know.
But, I mean, to me, I think that would be more phenomenal than to be reducing the loot drops. I think increasing the pool would be the better choice. Make people feel more powerful and wanting to hunt for that one particular drop that's going to take you over the top. At least, in my mind. But at the end of the day, I think, as far as what I could tell, Aaron over there, Square Shop, he says that they listen to good feedback from the fans. So, you guys go in there and put in your feedback. Tell them what you feel. Obviously be respectful. Don't go over there and be, toxic and, uh, you know, downright disrespectful. Just be honest. Like, if you don't like it, doesn't mean they can't change it back or make it better. Just go over there and give them your feedback. Remember, the games are made for our enjoyment. It's not necessarily, I mean, yes, partly is their vision, but also partly they want us to stay playing the game and get more people playing. But if it turns into a situation where people are dropping off like Avengers or even Borderlands 3, then what do you got? You got nothing.
Yeah.
You got nothing at the end of the day. So
No, I
that's
totally
my
agree.
take on it.
No, I
And
totally agree. Now I'm on your side with that. It's that's why it made me nervous. It was like, look, man, the gameplay is absolutely perfect the way it is. Now, fix the the situations that's going on with the game that is personally affecting gamers, with the kicking out,
Right,
with the startup once you start the game, things like that. Those are the things that should be first and foremost. There shouldn't
right,
be any type of opportunities to jump in there. I know that. Listen, I really do think personally that there is a small percentage of people that play the game as hard as we do. So I think overall that there's other people that's just, yeah, because I'm looking at people that was in the chat and then other people that's telling me, oh man, I'm a level 8, I'm a level 7, I'm a level 5. There's people that just got other things to do, and so let them experience the game like that. I think there's a lot more people in that space than it's people like us or people that's already beaten the game, the level 30 like Predator, who's already got all the achievements and has got everybody up to 30. So shit, I'm only at one character and I see the benefits of I've made other characters, but I see the benefits of how much time it's going to take for me to get my Power Mancer to have all of the abilities and just the other characters, anything. I mean, like that. So I don't know. So anybody else got to say anything before we move on to the next topic?
The only thing I
think
kind
we
of wanted
just
to touch on real quick,
Yeah, go
PK.
ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I definitely agree with you, PK, because that's kind of like the typical sentiment as far as before they changed anything, they needed to make sure the connection was working. Again, I can't stress that enough. Like the fact that you were trying to implement other things without us even being able to play together, like you were intending. I feel like that's people's biggest problems. I just don't want people to sit here and verbally accost devs for changes that they feel like they want to make. You know what I mean? Like PK explained, that's one of the best. That's like the best way to put it. He, you know what I'm saying, yo, I don't feel like you nerfing anything should be a goal right now. You know what I mean? Again, the game's only been out a week, but that's why I also was saying with it only being out a week, that's why it comes across to me as the gamer that, okay, they saw something that wasn't intended in their vision and that's why they're adjusting it. Again, I understand why people are frustrated with it. Again, fix the game first. You got to fix the foundation before you start trying to build on top of it, right? You got to make sure everything is level. Can't have sideways beams and you trying to put the roof on after. Like it just doesn't work that way. There's so many people that are passionate and love the game, and I feel like that's why this outcry is out there. I don't want that to be put out of place because that's the most important part. Like people are like a lot of the times people are complaining because, well, not necessarily complaining, but they're telling you, hey man, they're making recommendations because they're passionate about what you've brought to the table. And I don't want that to be lost in the shuffle amongst, people discussing what they feel should or should not be changed.
And that's exactly what I was getting at. So at the beginning of Borderlands, it was the same deal.
Right.
The fans felt disenfranchised, right? Because the game was broken and you focus on balancing. And the question mark is like, what? You can't even get us to enjoy the game the way you intended by making the game work first before you start talking about rebalancing. And even then I still can't stress more than enough. It is Borderlands or even Outriders. You're supposed to be OP. But if you feel like people are using something or a gun or a build and it's overperforming, what do you think you should be doing to change that behavior? Do you really think nerfing is going to change that behavior? No. How about buffing what is not performing well? That is what you should be doing. If you got the stats, you should not be doing rebalancing anytime right now, especially when everybody's trying to play the game and trying to play it together. Can't even enjoy it because you crash 3 times before you can finish one mission. Literally looking at low screens more time than you are playing the game. That's frustrating.
Well, I mean, I haven't had it hasn't been that serious, but again, everybody's internet is different. So I mean, I've had the same issues. Like there people were complaining about, being in the middle, like we were just saying that's happened to me like 3 times.
It happened to me so many times I can't even count.
And then
I literally had to take break on the game,
right,
and because people are on different Xboxes, it loads different.
it loads different as well. Yeah, I know when I'm playing with my boy Core, I'm playing with some other people, and then they still playing on the Series S, and there's even people that was playing on the Fat. So yeah, I mean it's one of those things where it's like it's the patch is needed for that. more so than the weapons. I think that they should have let that slide. It's only been a week, and they're doing that. But anyway,
Right.
I'm gonna play.
Facts,
I'm gonna play it
facts.
tonight, and then I'm gonna figure. I'm gonna see if that's going. If I've felt any changes or anything like that. But let me go ahead and get to my boy Blue
Move forward.
Shell. I have not forgot you, brother. Where was it? I just seen it. There you go. Um, he said, "I guess I will be playing Cold Steel 4 instead. They forgot that some people play by themselves in the higher world tiers. Nerfing stuff makes the game harder for players like me. I'm level 27, world tier 11, near 12. So you're just like me. I'm
Me
29.
too.
I'm right there almost to be. That's the part right there that I'm thinking about because there's been times that I played by myself." And there's people like, man, I thought you was just recording gameplay and things like that. But no, it was because I was, I just was playing the game and hoping somebody would come and help me because there was some stuff. There was stuff like, Jesus Christ, this shit is out. It's hot. It's hot. Please, somebody come in.
Bro.
So if you see me playing the game, just hop in. I don't care who you are. Just hop in. Let's get down. Let's play. And that that to me is what concerns me. I hope that it work itself out. But if you can't but I thought the way that the tier system was placed, it was perfect. So I don't know, but we got to move on.
Facts. That's
Great
true.
great discussion though. I mean, it was really great discussion. Of course, first topic is always supposed to be the warm up topic, and is always the one that it just rides out. But anyway, all right. So let's get on to this. Now, last week, I was trying to get to this point to talk about like Phil Spencer and what his impact was on Xbox. It didn't really turn out the way that I was expecting, but this time I'm shutting my mouth. The only thing that I'm going to say about this is I think that Phil is a fantastic person for the job, and all the people that's in his crew that's doing it has been absolutely fantastic. Now, of course, I'm biased because I've met some of these people personally, but I'm not going to sit here and because there was somebody that was in the comment section that was like, "Oh, you guys are over here just showing off, trying to talk about what y'all was doing and things like." No, that had nothing to do with it. It was more the sense of just talking about how special E3 is itself, and then the impact of when you're a part of what they do at Xbox and how they reach out to you. So I'm going to go straight up here to go to D. What is your thoughts about Phil Spencer and his impact on Xbox since this is pretty much his 7th year anniversary of being at the helm?
Um, I think he's gone in a positive direction as far as trying to improve the Xbox brand. To me, the Xbox brand is um, the very sharp contrast between now and 7 years ago.
Hmm.
So I mean, I don't pretend to know these things in depth, but I feel like there's a lot of credit to be given as far as taking it right at the start of a new generation and kind of being given this plate like, hey, so, Don Matrix kind of screwed us, so we need you to turn this around real quick. And I think with that being his task, it's been um, pretty positive. It's had some rough patches. There are still some things, I feel like every other E3 that I've seen was just like, we have new games. And it was just like, okay, when are they coming? Scalebound got canceled and things like that. But I feel like with the studio acquisitions, listening to the feedback of the fans with the backwards compatibility program was a great start, and it still continues as far as having that consumer friendly atmosphere for their platform. So I think it's pretty good so far for him as far as him being the head of Xbox. I'm honestly kind of surprised that it's been 7 years because it feels much shorter than that. It doesn't feel like it's been that long. That he's been in this position. So I'm excited for the future with all these talks and things that are going on. Um, but I'm a little apprehensive because I don't want to get too excited because that's kind of um, the foreplace of getting disappointed. But I like where the direction is going. I like things how they're progressing and just as far as the steps they're taking to make it an all friendly brand for Xbox.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. All right, what about you, Delilah HD? What do you think? The impact
Oh
that
man,
Phil has brought to the table.
I feel like he's made a fantastic impact on Xbox in general. Just, I mean, we all know what 2013 was like.
Poof.
just from the outside looking in.
Ugh.
And now a little bit inside looking out. I mean, you can kind of tell like the direction that Xbox is going in, and just with just all of the acquisitions, and now you got like, numerous studios making games, first party, and but the Bethesda deal. I mean, it's hard to not look at what he's done and look at it in a positive light, because it's just I'm excited with the direction it's going in. Personally, I just hope that we keep at it. Keep your foot on the gas. Don't let up. Because as years progress and as things go on, as gamers, we always going to want more. We always going to want the best content, and I think that should be the driving factor of everything. So I'm thankful, because we could be in a completely different situation. We could have another. It could be, like you say, it could be another. What example you said, Don Matrix? It could be another Don Matrix situation, but it's not, right? So it's exciting. It's exciting, and by making acquisitions, you're prolonging jobs, and a lot of people always skip that part, because people now, they have these jobs they can go to and work on crafts that they love, and so it's good. It's good.
No doubt, no doubt. 108 Dragons in the house. What's going on with you, brother? He said, sharing our experience is not showing off. It's telling y'all what it is and giving you the facts. He said, Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? I've got to get some Brooklyn in there. He says, why say you sound mad and we are really out here? No, listen. I just was giving the comment because there was somebody and they were salty. You could tell, but it was more the thing to that I'm looking at it as like, come on, like, why are you in this? Why are you thinking that we're trying to brag about it? It's like, we don't even, I rarely show any pictures of everything that what was going on at E3. I showed a little couple of things. I mean, there's people out here that like gets on podcasts and they just
one thing I want to say, okay, I'm gonna cut you off, because one thing I want to say about that is, what's wrong with doing that though? What's wrong with celebrating, like enjoying your time?
It's nothing. It was just somebody in the comment that I was just kind of like, that, right? Yeah, no, it's nothing wrong with that. No, it's
okay. So
wrong.
Don't let what people say about the time you spent and the pictures that you want to share about something that you enjoyed. Don't let people dictate that or try to obstruct like the good time that you had. It was fun. We had a good time, and our pictures, I'm posting them, fam. So. It kind of is what it is.
Yeah, no. It's what if Lemon was here, he would sit here and he would say it. He was like, "Yo, I'm more of the just kind of the chill type like that. I don't like to get out there and be rah like that." And that's the whole point of why the show works with the people that's on it, is because I may not be the rah guy like that. Sometimes I might get rah, but for the most part, I'm chill. But like, if Lemon could be looked at as the rah guy, but it works out perfect. You know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is. Because you have to have all different type of personalities to make these type of things work. And that right there is what my brother 108 is right. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not ashamed of it. It's just that to me, I was just making the point. And I just wanted the people just to get their point out of there, because you was killing us last week, Lemon.
Just to put this back on topic, one thing I forgot to mention though is I'm really loving what the team is doing behind backward compatibility and the game preservation. I mean, the fact that my game saves, I can go back to a game save back on 360, load it up in the cloud and play it on my phone. It's incredible, right? And so I appreciate all that work, and I just think it's going to be great, because people can now show their kids, like, man, I played this game, check this out, this is my save, and it don't have to start over. Like, it's cool. And I think that I would love for Nintendo and for Sony to just to kind of put care about the game preservation as well, because a lot of people don't want to do things illegally and download ROMs and stuff like that and possibly break us. People don't want to do that. People just want to enjoy the games that they purchased in the past. And also, man, that not only are they paying attention to backward compatibility, but they also are letting you play those at better frame rates, better in HD on your nicer TV. Like, I just wanted to just make sure that I put some appreciation out there for that. So yeah.
No doubt. All right, before I go to you, I'm gonna go to you on this one, Slayer. But your boy is over here. He's saying Delilah is right. We share what we're doing. Only haters have those comments. Real gamers want us to share what we're doing out here doing out here for the real. Thanks for the
Facts.
real. Facts. Brooklyn. Brooklyn.
Facts.
Brooklyn. All right.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. All right. That's my man. My main man. Oh
Shut up.
man.
You can't even say the word right. You two sound terrible at it.
Who? I saw tell him what? I saw tell him what? Say it, Brooklyn?
Yes.
How
Yes.
did I say? Man,
Every time you say it, I feel a tingle up my spine. Like,
good for
No.
you. Good for you.
no.
Good for you. Good for you. But I'm gonna still say it. Brooklyn, sucker. Go ahead. What do you think? What do you think about Phil Spencer and what he's doing, brother?
Listen, man. The captain obvious statement of the night is Phil Spencer's the man right now.
Woo!
But it's been a long road to be the king of New York. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like it's just a thing where he's put in a lot of work, and the ladies have mentioned the most obvious reasons that the things that they've implemented in his tenure. Although one of them was before his time as VP of Xbox, was the cloud saves, but everything else, the return of backwards compatibility, you know, things like the auto HDR, everything that we have now, Game Pass, the deals, yes, FPS boost, the mere fact that Xbox is even around right now, because he had to go before Satya Nadella with a plan, and he had the vision, and he had the balls to say to him straight up, we cannot have these little gloves on anymore. We got to go bare knuckle. And that means the treasure chest needs to be opened. Okay? There's acquisitions to be made. There's moves to be made. And it's going to take a while. But if we're really going to do this, we got to go all the way. And frankly, it's been 20 years since Microsoft entered the console arena. But they always played nice and didn't do certain things that the competition was quick to do, right? Not so much in the way of exclusives, but to talk about their competition in a negative manner when they did things that shouldn't be done. And I don't mean blatantly all the time, but the competition would talk about Xbox like they're the outsiders, like they don't belong. And it's quite apropos that different, right? And Microsoft finally is moving like that outsider that does the things that they're afraid to or just can't because they don't have the pockets, they don't have the money, they don't have the vision. And Phil Spencer has all these things, and he's got the money and the backing of Satya Nadella. And and as his success continues, like there's nothing he can't go to Satya and ask for it and get denied as long as it's, you know, something reasonable and have a plan. And he always seems to have a plan. And he's quick to be reactionary and change when things aren't going right. Like when they announced that price increase to Xbox Live, we heard about it that morning.
You sick, but there's no picture of K Mega.
Yeah, no, I just
Not
seen
again?
it. It did that.
Okay.
It did it again. So I don't know if there's something with OBS that it needs some kind of update or whatever. But we're gonna let it ride. Don't worry about that. Just keep on
okay.
going. I'll change it right here. Okay.
Right. So Phil Spencer, like with the whole thing with the Xbox Live thing, we heard it that morning, and Cognito was on with us that Friday night, and he was speaking. I had to interrupt him because the breaking news, like, and you heard it. You could hear in your mind as you read the statement, like they get it for real that the move they made was the bad choice, and they understand why it's a bad choice and what they should do to do the right thing. And they went forward with not only a reversal of their plans, but also to let us know that they're going to have the free-to-play games not locked behind the Xbox Live paywall. That's just an example of, even when they're not doing things right, where they can pivot on a dime and do the right thing, right? That's being reactionary. And so even when things, because nothing goes exactly according to plan, and you have to be flexible. And so Phil Spencer needs to have a crown on his head. They call him, Philosauros Maximus, blah blah blah. Rex needs to be at the end of that, and that's Latin for king, because really he's the king right now. He's making all the moves like no head of any console manufacturer ever. And there's been some great ones out there like Reggie and Kutaragi. He did great with the PS1 and the PS2. He was a great leader in those times. But Phil Spencer, honestly, I think he's done better than all of them. Frankly, and that's what I think about Phil Spencer.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, so Megatron in the building. He says, how much does it cost to be on GRG and get on? He said, get on of the wrenches next to my name. Jokes love my GRG family. Listen, man, listen, it's free because as you can see, Discord is making me look bad. So it's absolutely free to be on GRG, brother, because it is. I'm having all types of technical difficulties. I'm holding on for my life. I'm on my R. Kelly right now. I'm fighting for my damn life. But
no, not the R. Kelly.
Oh man, I'm on R. Kelly, man. You know what I'm saying? Discord.
Example, a terrible.
Yeah.
Good life. Don't even think about that, bro.
I'm fighting my damn life. Hey man, please. Anyway, my Discord is out here acting a fool. And I checked before because I've had so many situations where. Before the show, I would come home from work and I would get things rolling, and then there would be a crazy Microsoft update and everything. Before then, I wouldn't check, and it would just be haywire. So it wasn't that, because I checked that before the show. It is Discord that's acting up, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. We will make it work. We will make it work. The Don, I see you up in here. The Zinc, what's up with you, brother? I haven't seen you in a little bit. I know you was here last week. Thank you for coming by, man. You know what I'm saying? Tell 100 and the guys over there live wire. And I said what's happening when they do their podcast tomorrow night. You know what I'm saying? Still got much love for them brothers out there for sure. Anyway, so let me go ahead and get to who's next. Let me go to PK. Let me go to PK on this one. What do you think about Phil Spencer, man? What has he done with the Xbox brand and just gaming altogether, man? I mean, I think personally that he has made gaming more healthy because he doesn't try to get in the weeds with maybe what some other people might try to do to try to make them look so much better than the other brand. I think Phil just stays completely even keel and just do his thing, and he just made it just better overall. What do you think? Do you agree?
He did a great job. The main difference is from the last leadership is that he believes in Xbox, right? He believes in the Xbox brand, and he also believed that Xbox could be the leader to change how gaming is done going forward. And as you can see, and it's not like Microsoft has never been a visionary. It has, but right now under Phil, he's definitely got a great team working under him that are trying new things, that are pushing the agenda, who decided to change the game. I mean, who would have thought that they would create data centers and infrastructures built with Xbox boards as server blades just for this online? Like, no one's done that. No one's done that. Not Google, not Amazon. No one, not PlayStation, and no one's done that. So that he's gradually, definitely changing the game. He has changed the brand of Xbox. No longer is it a laughing stock. Now it's a true competitor to the PlayStation behemoth that has ruled the console space for a long time. Now it's not about consoles; it's about ecosystem. Which is different. It's a different way that we view gaming. It's a different feeling. I know some people are still uncomfortable with the idea, but this is 2021, and this is the future. Who would have thought that machine learning and cloud would be the number one technology being used for businesses? No one's
And
seen this coming. And
saying
the
also
point
like the
is,
cloud stuff. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was going to just say, like, a lot of people always mention, the cloud and machine learning and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and it's an additive. It's not like it's a primary thing.
oh
I mean,
no,
console is still king.
I'm just speaking in general. So like, no one does on-prem exchange servers anymore. We do everything at 365. That is the cloud. That is what we do going forward, because it's not only easier to manage, but it's less vulnerable to attacks, right? Um, and it's flexible, it's expandable, it's a little bit of everything, and that's the point. Is no longer do we have roaming profiles, we have roaming settings, universal enterprise settings. And I know that I'm getting a little technical, but think about it. Whenever you sign into a new Xbox, immediately all of your settings, backgrounds, etc., immediately loads. Right? You don't have to download anything. And that's the point. Is now we're into an ecosystem where it doesn't matter where you play. And everyone's starting to catch on to this.
Mhm.
And it's the same thing. I think Phil has adapted to being the leader of this new gen.
Woo! Talk about it now. Now you talking. Now you talking.
He and this is his vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
To make the player the center instead of the console.
Yep.
And I don't want PlayStation to fail. I want them to succeed and do well, but they also have to get out of this old mindset of trying.
Hold on, PK. Before you say that, let me ask everybody on the panel here, because that's going to be one of the first things that people will say. Do anybody on the panel want PlayStation to fail?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
No. It's absolutely
You
right.
entertain that question? Of course not.
Well, no.
Competition
Because
want more games.
No, trust me. There are people out here that will take clips of everything that goes on in this podcast and use it to utilize it as a point for their fuckery. That is
gaslighting.
Yeah, it's gaslighting.
I don't care about those who are
Listen,
interested in fuckery, but I hear your point.
But that's the whole point. Okay, go ahead, finish, PK. I just wanted to make that point clear.
Right. So, I see 108 saying, xCloud is a bonus service, not the main service, but that's true, and I get that, but it may be the main service at some point. We don't know. I mean, that's probably his vision. I mean, he's trying to make the app being a staple loaded into every Samsung phone and TV going forward. This may be a staple, right? And it's a business revenue that's different and separate that no one's ever done. No one ever when Netflix started doing streaming, did Blockbuster ever think that would take off? No.
I thought it was a joke.
They continued their old business practices until it overtook them. And this is kind of what I'm saying is, I want PlayStation to get smart again. Stop doing these old business practices. I see a lot of people talking about all these PlayStation 5 selling. Where? No one has them in their home. There's not that many people who have them in their home. The scalpers have them. Who cares how many consoles you push when they can't get the games? You got to understand this.
Talk about it.
If PlayStation's model has to change to a service-based model too. Just think about what kind of behemoth Sony would have if they could sell their music service, their movie service, and their PlayStation in the same app. All I'm saying is you have to think like Phil in order to be on the edge. Otherwise, you're going to be playing catch up. See, the thing is, Microsoft and Xbox and Phil, they understand that they're a software company at their core. Not a hardware company, a software company. That's what they do best. Sony is a media company. That's what they got to do best. They got to get back to their roots and not try to play the different game. And I think that Phil has done a great job on playing chess and not checkers and creating the competition to raise the bar at a level where, even though he doesn't consider PlayStation a competitor, they definitely consider them a competitor. And that means that they need to raise the bar another level as well.
No doubt. No doubt. Great point. All right. What about you, Still Rain, to take us home to get us to the next topic? What do you think about the impact that Phil Spencer has done for just not only for Xbox but for the
Mhm.
industry itself?
I mean, pretty much y'all hit it out the park, man, for the most part. But the cherry on top that I kind of want to add, just somebody else might want to add on, but for me, Phil has Phil has changed the game as we see it, man. I was thinking about it earlier, and somebody was making some statements. It was just talking about what Game Pass is doing versus what PS Now, PS Plus is doing on their side, um, and it's very smart that Xbox is going in the way that in the direction that it's going, with Phil at the head, because I don't want to necessarily say, oh, it was all Phil's idea, but with him being the head, you kind of have to give that credit to him. He basically, shepherded the way in for everything that we have today. And what's important, what's crazy for me, and why I've always had a respect for Phil, ever since I was young, man, is just because I've always known that Phil was a gamer. It's not like he's just some corp guy and he's just, trying to wear suits all the time and whatever the case might be. He's actually a gamer himself, so he has an understanding. Of course, he has to make the money and show the profits and everything else, to keep that side of everything alive. But with him as the head now, it's one of those things where you always want somebody in the position, or if they're going to be at the top position, you want somebody who is very knowledgeable and has a lot of experience in that field. And as gamers, I feel like we don't get that often. And so when there is somebody in that position, we get the moves that we're seeing now. The whole digital, with the whole digital push, honestly, I feel like for both sides, Sony and for Microsoft at least, it could be a benefit for both. Kind of to what PK was saying though, I don't want, what you were saying too, Mega. No, nobody wants Sony to go away. We want there to be competition because we benefit as gamers when there's competition. But what Microsoft is blatantly doing is saying, hey, the old ways might work for you right now, but it's not the way into the future. And as we see with games like Outriders, all the sports games going in there, MLB The Show going in there, it's going to set a certain precedent for people that it's going to open a lot. It's going to open a lot of gamers' eyes up, because again, if we want to treat Microsoft or Xbox like they say, quote on, and I don't like using it, but to make it kind of easier for everybody else to digest, if you want to call them the Netflix of gaming or whatever the case might be, then why can't Sony be the Disney Plus Hulu of gaming? And everybody. I mean, everybody pretty much has all the services nowadays. You have Amazon Prime, you have HBO Max now because you want to get the movies, and so on and so forth. There's so many other services out there that people are signed up for. I think what Phil has tried to do over the years is put a hand out and say, hey, look, there's this whole other direction that we can go to, and we can all make money and also serve the gamers, because why wouldn't you want to have access to all of that? Eventually, I think Phil's overall vision is to eventually get it to a point where it is just like it is now, how we consume our media, our entertainment, with Spotify, Tidal, stuff like that. Why can't gaming be the same way? Just subscribe, and guess what? They're making their money. The problem with it, though, and I mean, it's a whole different discussion, but just real quick to touch on it, the problem with it, though, is that Sony's kind of behind the ball on it. And I feel like that's what's making Phil look so much more victorious over what's going on right now, because he's seemingly making all the right moves, even though this has been put in place over the last decade. To get put in place and everything. Like now, Game Pass is getting that ball rolling. Now everybody's seeing that just digital is basically the way to go. I mean, again, I believe there were stats that I saw earlier that now, I think it was just as of last year, it's starting to get to a point where digital sales are becoming 75% to 25% over physical. So we see where the direction is going, and with everything. And Phil has just been the man to just put his stake in the ground and say, look, this is what we're doing. I give that man the utmost respect, as a gamer and also as the corp guy. who has to run the company, man, I give him the utmost respect for what he's doing, because as you see from the other side of the fence, on the other side of the pond, they actually moved over here, but but you see that it's not the same from the other side, and to get the customer facing Microsoft that we're getting now, they're just, again, they're touching on what they're good at: services and software. And I mean, Phil understands that, obviously, what Microsoft's about. He's been with the company since he interned for him back in the day, and he knows he seemingly knows what they need to do to move forward. So it's an exciting time. I'm excited. I'm excited for him, man. And he seems like to be the top guy right now, man. So
no doubt.
Question for the panel. Quick question.
Quick.
Do you guys think that a company that does everything is not good at what they do, or do you think it's matter if they are better at a few things that is what they're good at to get the quality into the bus? What do you think? The reason why I'm asking is because I feel like Sony has spread themselves too thin.
No, that's a good segue, because that's what we're gonna get into, is talking about Sony now. Because we're gonna be really
Sony. I didn't want to dive into
it.
Yeah.
We're gonna be Sony. We're gonna be Sony heavy now. But I think personally, Microsoft is now bleeding over to what Sony was really great at and still good at, with headphones, controllers, just electronics, because that's Sony's wheelhouse. Now Xbox is squeezing over into their lane by having the best controller, I think, out there. I don't think anybody. Well, of course, there'll be stands out there that will detest and that will say that PlayStation has the better controller than anything. But for the most part, even PC gamers say that, if it's not the 360 controller, it is now probably the new controllers, or the elite ones. Xbox has the better controllers. Now they're coming with headphones that are top notch. And then on top of that, being a software company, that's where their strength was. They were never really like strong with hardware, but the longer we've been seeing Xbox or just Microsoft slowly trying to do a little bit of everything, Sony has kind of decreased. Like they were great with the laptops, things like that, but they're gone now. So I agree with the first thing that you said, that no, if you know a little bit of if you're the jack of all trades with a little bit of everything, you are in a better stance than somebody who just knows one or two things altogether, because Microsoft is looking more well-rounded at this point. Okay, nobody else got nothing to say about that? Okay, all right, cool. All right.
In fact, I thought we were just giving it. I didn't know you were done. So it sounded like it cut you off.
No. I said, okay, go ahead, brother.
But no, to answer your question, I mean, for Mike, I guess I don't really have much to say on that, because it'd be pretty much reiterating basically what I just said.
So, okay, my bad.
Basically, in a roundabout kind of way.
Well, I have a quick note. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, we were just saying in the chat how Microsoft has been doing a couple of things here and there, and kind of noticed it off the rip, and it kind of also touches the last point that we made with them branching out. I feel like with the last generation, Microsoft kind of screwed up so badly. They had to figure something out, because what they had put out wasn't working. So they had to feel like, what are we doing? This connection ain't working. We gotta drop it. What else can we do to get back in good graces? And they branched out. They not started, but one of the things I noticed was they went from just being software to having hardware with, the Surface Book. They started with the Surface. I want to say right around before the Xbox One came out, like 2012 or so. So I feel like, not starting off well, I hate to say it, kind of forced them to branch out and kind of think well outside the box, because what they were doing wasn't working. And I feel like it is now paying dividends, because they're doing the headset they just came out with. They're doing, they've kind of, not too much, but they've branched out with their own headphones the same way that, they're the Buds and the AirPods. So it's just like, yes, they know they are good at the software. They've been doing it for decades, but them having to kind of branch out, I think, has been to their benefit. And like I said last time, I don't hate Sony either. I've had the PlayStation 1 since I was a kid and pretty much every system since. I just want it to be better for those, coming up. Because I feel like a lot of times with companies, they start out great, you do what people like, and then as time goes on, as money starts changing hands, that becomes the goal. And I don't want that. I don't want to see that for, other people. Because I want to get a PS5 as well at some point, even though Xbox is my main console. Because, I mean, I'm not going to lie, they're going to have, the games that I want to play on there. And even the smaller games, Little Big Planet, I do want to play the Astrobot, things like that. But as of right now, it's like between the supply and just some of the practices, it's like, yo, what y'all doing over there? Like, I can't get into my PS3 stuff. My PSP stuff is gone. My Vita stuff is gone. It's just, I just want it to be better for the gamers overall, not just, Xbox is doing great over here, but when gamers win, I feel like everybody does, even if it's competition. So I'm just hoping things turn around.
I think I know where I kind of wanted to take it now. I agree. I definitely agree with what PK was saying. PlayStation has definitely stretched itself thin to this point, but at the same time, as PlayStation isn't successful, then that hurts Sony. And I think that's one of the main things that we also have to not necessarily focus on, but we also have to keep in mind. I definitely agree with D to a certain extent about Microsoft kind of being put on their back and pretty much being felt kind of helpless, especially coming after a strong but also kind of faltering generation for the 360, just because the Red Ring situation is spending a lot more money than they probably wanted to get things handled. But again, that's something that I kind of want to bring into this, because again, the problem from why Microsoft was kind of on an off foot before was because they didn't take it serious. Microsoft wasn't fully invested in Xbox. It was just a division that they put some money into, say, hey, let's see what we can do. Why not? And with the change in 2013 with Phil, and I guess kind of, tying it back with Phil and him having that conversation and saying, look, this is what we need to do to try to, as we move into this next generation, if we want to take Xbox, if we're going to take this whole gaming division thing seriously, then let's really invest into it. Because other than that, what are we doing with it? Let's, again, like PK was saying, you have to focus on what you were good at, on what you're good at. Again, they're good at software and services, and that's what they're doing. On the other side, Sony has their hands in so many different things, and they don't have the capital per se to be playing the in and out game. Again, it can take one or two games on the Sony side of things for things just not to go right, where Xbox can be like, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And we're kind of seeing that now with Game Pass. So that's why they're being so kind of fruitful with Game Pass right now. So yeah, that's it with that.
We're gonna try to adjust, because I just had a person that just came into my house that shouldn't be in here. But I want to let people hear him. You know what I'm saying? So he can say what's going on just for a hot second. My son, you know what I'm saying? You got your own place. You don't need to be here. But I want you to say what's going on to the chat out here, man. What's going on? Say what's up to people, man. Say what's up to the panel, man.
Yo, it's your boy, Rival X. You guys are lucky that I'm not playing, so I hope you guys playing anything. So I hope you guys sleep good tonight knowing that.
What game was you playing that you can talk that shit for? Yeah, this corny sucker. Listen to that.
Is he 12?
Oh, he's 27. But did he come in here? He come and talk about yo. Hey man,
He did.
He came in here yo.
Wow.
Hey man, listen. This sucker came here. He got a stimulus check. I was gonna cash that. You know what I'm saying? Because I still got rights to it. Anyway, all right. You know what I'm saying? What you want, man? Oh, you trying to listen to how I do the podcast? Listen and learn, son. Listen and learn. All right, so we going into the next topic. All right. Now we going heavy on Sony, right?
Mm-hmm.
there was an article that came out this morning that was absolutely insane. Now
Mhm.
we've heard different type of situations that was going on within PlayStation, but the thing that was the most interesting was that games that people were touting and talking about the sales numbers within like Days Gone, uh, I don't know. I mean, like Days Gone sold well. It was number one. Remember, people were bragging about it. Sony has basically just told the people at that at Ben Studios there will be no more Days Gone. That costs too much money. We're not even going to do a sequel. But what you can do is that we could do a remake for the PlayStation 5, The Last of Us. You know what? We're going to be talking heavy Sony for the rest of the night, so let's just go ahead and just break this down. I'm going to go straight to you, Still Rain.
Okay.
You ended it. You're going to start it. Check this out.
Mm-hmm.
What in the hell is going on with Sony that they're talking? Remember when everybody was talking? Because now the slander's about to come, ladies and gentlemen. If this is what you've been waiting for, here it comes. What in the hell is going on?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Have you got the soundboard? Have you got the soundboard?
I can hook up the soundboard if you want me to.
Punk Master Flex bombs. Have that on the ready.
Oh my God. Okay. I will hook up the soundboard. But what I want to do first is get explanations from the crew, from my people. Why in it? Remember Halo, Gears, and Forza?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So now it's Last of Us. What are we doing here? Still Rain, please. What is
a remake?
Yeah, remake of a remake of a remake. Hell, Puffy ain't did no shit like that. So what are we doing now? What's happening? Oh yeah, no, it's about the slander's about to happen. We came in calm. Now we're gonna come correct. Still Rain. Explain this. What is Sony's narratives and what are they thinking about doing with this?
All right. So first off, I'm gonna come in kind of logical.
Hit it,
Look,
point, man. Hit it.
The reason that they're remaking a remake, or a remaster, I should say, is because they want to get more players involved when they drop the actual show. That is the whole intention of them doing it. They're going to probably put out a collection and put it out on PS5 and charge everybody $70 for it, with factions. Finally, because they couldn't or failed to drop a full game as they were originally intended for Last of Us 2, they're now going to give it to you 3 years later. My entire problem with this is it makes Sony it makes everything else look weak. You know what I mean? It doesn't add any extra benefit. It doesn't get anybody hype, especially when you've already redid the game. All you would have to do is repackage it into a little collection or whatever the case might be. Drop what you've been wanting to drop with the multiplayer and put it on a PS5. But no, they don't want to do that. But the problem is that they don't have the infrastructure per se like Xbox does to push out that update to you guys, to push out to give you guys that free patch or whatever the case might be that they would need to implement. For me, it's hard. It's hard for me to give 100% slander because I see what they're trying to do business wise. It just doesn't make sense to the rest of the gamers, because at the end of the day, you completely shut down Days Gone. Now that studio is completely falling apart. The people are leaving. They're like, yo, I mean, y'all don't have faith in us, so we're just gonna move on. And now you're rocking the boat. So now what's really gonna go on? That's kind of my mind about it right now. I don't have any real smoke for it at this current time. So
oh man, you being too diplomatic for me. You being too diplomatic. You being too diplomatic. I mean, listen, you just said that you're not gonna. You understand Sony's methods behind this?
I understand, but because you have to. I mean, that's the thing.
How?
Sure, you can give them slander behind it, but the facts are they are dropping a show. So what they're going to do, and it's blatantly obvious, what they're going to do is remaster a remaster, give it to you with in a collection with The Last of Us 2, give you the multiplayer and say, here, we gave you everything you wanted. Don't complain. Take it.
Okay,
because that's what people expect, and that's what people are happy with. You know what I mean? It's like, now y'all want to complain. This is something they've been doing, and now you want to wake up to it now?
Okay. All right. I don't know. All right. So I'm okay. I'm gonna let the ladies go last on this one because I'm over here. I'm hearing D over here. She sounds like she's tapped. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna mute myself. My bad.
No. I just know that how you feel about it is how I think most of us is gonna feel. So I'm gonna go to Slayer on this one. Slayer. Don't let me down on this,
bro.
brother.
Your manners, ladies first. But
no.
The ladies.
All right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Only because they say. So listen.
Yeah, okay. Bro. All right. Go ahead. What's going on? What the hell is going on with Sony with this, man? Remaster after remaster after remaster?
Sony continues to prove they are everything that we thought they were.
Oh my God! Right? You gonna throw that?
No, it's facts.
Okay.
It's facts.
All right.
Like, think about it. It's the company that The Last of Us, the original, came out on PS3 at the very end of the life, right? Mm-hmm. And right after that, the PS4 comes out, and I think within or right after the launch window, so that's the first 3 months or that first quarter, they had the PS4 version, 60 frames, right? And remember them advertising, the textures. They were quote unquote 4K textures. Not the game was 4K texture. I'm just using that term because everybody knows what that means. That's basically they took the best version of the assets that could fit in the memory, so those textures look extra good. 60 frames, it loads faster, it's higher res, all of that. Boom, right? Okay, fine. But gotta pay extra for it. But I think there was a transitionary thing you could do where it was like $20 you paid. I don't know if Last of Us was among that because there were a lot of cross-gen games that generation they did that with. But I don't know if it was Last of Us.
It's always cross-generation games they do that.
Yeah. All right then. So
Kelly Rex wanted it, by the way.
Yeah, no, I told him that we'll just have to do that. I'll get Cali Rex in. I'll even get Super Sonic, and because I want to hear PlayStation fans' perspective of it. And so we'll do that over the weekend. I'll chop it up with them a little bit later. But we're too deep right now, so let's just go ahead.
All right. So so we're hearing from these developers and what they wanted, and what I mean by Sony being everything we thought they were. Like, first of all, you gotta realize, like what you mentioned about the games, Days Gone, right? And even a more obvious example with Death Stranding is nobody really bought those games like that. Obviously with Death Stranding, but also with Days Gone, it just didn't sell. So now Sony doesn't care. Sony has a reputation of single player experiences that are basically like walking, talking movies, and that's a gross over exaggeration that people put out there, but it is still a lane that they're in, right? Games like those sell because it attracts a wide range of people, and it can sell big numbers or it could fall flat, right? And Days Gone was more of a fall flat. It really didn't do that well at all. And so Sony doesn't care about it anymore. That's how they do it. They're generally only interested in these games that sell lots of copies, but their player base, they don't operate that way anyway. They talk all the time online. You see these guys, oh, this game, that game. They're all over Metacritic, all over Twitter, all the time. When do they have time to play games, you ask, right? Well, obviously they're not, because they're not buying the games. So they're not making sequels. What do? Remaster, remake, over and over and over. We just got the sequel. It just came out last year. You re-released, you remastered the game, I think within a year of its original release, because it was a new console generation. What more are you doing to this new version? It's a remake? Oh, a remake like what? like Final Fantasy VII, that takes a long time for the game to age and marinate and be a classic in terms of design, technology, and everything else, where you're in a new paradigm and you completely recreate the idea. What we have from the PS3 to the PS4 and the PS5 is just a mere evolution of technology and resolutions and stuff. That's generally it. Yeah, we have new things like, ray tracing and stuff, but it's not a paradigm difference. What are you going to do to this game to make it new? I guarantee you it's nothing that's really that interesting, because this is how Sony always operates. It's always resell the same thing, make a sequel, but then it's ironic their fans used to say that, oh, Xbox has Halo, Gears, and Forza. Apparently it's just The Last of Us, Ratchet and Clank, God of War, and nowadays you toss Spider-Man in there.
Well, don't forget about GTA. Yeah. There's. Oh well.
Yeah, where's Gran Turismo? Once again, it got delayed like it always does. It never comes out on time. There's gonna be multiple delays. That's just how it is. Gran Turismo. With Gran Turismo, I don't mean that as shade. It's just facts. I love Gran Turismo, but who cares about that now? Because Forza has killed it. Frankly, okay. I would be surprised if this new one is even as good as the current Forza. Okay, that's facts. If it is, I will buy it. I'd be happy to be here in eCro and say, yo, that game was hot.
It won't.
And I was happy to buy it. So don't take it personal. But it's not like I'm ranting, but it's just how Sony does. We already knew. I'm not surprised by it at all, except that at least now we have evidence with this whole developer situation. So that's what I think.
Okay. All right. Great point. All right. I'm going to go to UPK on this. What do you think, man? What's going on with Sony, man? Why is their strategy is all about? And I know we've heard this. Sean Layton, kind of alluded to it, but then now, Jim Ryan's at the helm. What is going on now to where they think that people are still going to want to invest into The Last of Us yet again with a remaster, when they've already had one just in the previous generation on the PlayStation 4?
Because they know people will buy it. I mean, it's that simple.
That's money talks at the end of the day. I'm sorry. I hate to say it.
It's not like they ain't do it before. My thing is, I feel bad because instead of diverting...
Well, I thought I was crazy.
Instead of converting resources to do a remake, they could just do an upgrade and give it to the people who own it already for free.
They don't want to.
All right? They and then just focus your resources on making new stuff. Like, that is what you should be doing for your fans and your community, not reselling them the same game every generation with minor tweaks. Why resell it? You know why? Because people will buy it. Not because their focus is on serving their community, which I think is wrong. I think they definitely is making a bad move by diverting resources to do a remake. I think in general, all of us would love to see new and fantastic games come from the Sony studios. Period. We want to see the best of the best that they got to offer. Far as Last of Us 2 and all that, man, I wouldn't even want to touch it with the controversy it surrounds it. I would let it die off, then just bring it back and upgrade it for free. That's what I would do if it was me. But I'm not sure what the leadership stance is on that and why they're focused on trying to milk this IP dry. And I think the main reason is because of all of the setbacks and all that. They don't want to go through that. They want to just milk it now while it's still hot. And it's pretty bad because your fans, the guys who's hungry for a new game, they got this new system and they're looking for something new that's a masterpiece. because they haven't got it yet, right?
Mhm.
They haven't got it yet. They just got a remake. I mean, Spider-Man's still a PS4 game. They want something new that flexes the system's capabilities.
Actions.
And it's impossible to do that when your vision is just to do what Nintendo does,
Mhm.
right? Rehash, resell, you the same games you bought last generation and the generation before that and the generation before that for full price. Think about it. I mean, Nintendo artificially inflated their value of the Mario trilogy because they made it only available for 6 months. Basically making you feel like I need to buy this now or I'm going to miss out. As much as people praise Switch, Nintendo only made 2 brand new games last year. They
That's
only
the most disgusting
released
practice out of them in the past
2 brand new games.
5
Everything
10
else
years.
was ports and remasters, right? Why would you PlayStation fans who own a PS5 don't want to keep buying the same games they already own. They don't want to do that. They want new stuff. They want a reason to validate their purchase to themselves.
Mm.
And you don't have Game Pass. PS Now is not a Game Pass service. So it's not like they have the opportunities that the other people on other platforms have. Even Nintendo, right? As weak as Nintendo's online service is, they still offer new games on their service, on their subscription service. Pac-Man 99 is the new addiction, but you can only play it on Nintendo Online. All I'm saying is, I'm not bashing Sony. I want them to do better, but the direction of the old techniques and old business model does not work in 2021. You have to adapt. You have to change and do better for your customers. Google is one of the companies who started by Can you
Hello?
guys hear me?
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
They start. You guys got. Everybody's quiet, so I was like, but Google started by giving things to their customers for free
Mhm.
to get them to spend money later. They started that.
Facts.
All right. Okay.
So if Sony really they in my mind maybe leadership is the problem. Maybe they need to change leadership in order to get get the customer driven flow back together, because I want them to have a Game Pass like competitor, right? Like I said, they have their own music. Um, you know, they own their own music. Sony Music, right? Mariah Carey's on there. They got their own artists. They might not have their own streaming, but they got their own movie studio. They and PlayStation, right? Put all that into one app and get people to sub to that. They already the reason why I'm gonna tell you the reason why they made that deal with Netflix. It's because they don't have the infrastructure to do their own streaming.
All right. Now you jumping into something that could be a later on topic.
Okay, well I'm just touching it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying in general, you want them to do better. But I think probably leadership may have to change in order for them to start focusing on what would be best for not now, but the future. Because right now, they're not making any money off of PS5. It costs $450 to make each system, and that's just to make it. Has nothing to do with packaging, has nothing to do with marketing, has nothing to do with shipping, just to make it. So they're taking an L on every system. They need the software to sell. So what they did was they raised the price $10 to offset that, to recoup that money. Well, it's not working because not enough people have it in their house. So you got to look elsewhere. You need to start releasing your games on PC. You need to start doing other venues to attract people to be invested into your ecosystem, not your box.
All right. Okay. All right. What about you, Delilah HD? What is your thoughts about this, man? I mean, is it too far? Is it smart from Sony? What is your thoughts about this remake? Talk. And about Days Gone, because there's something too that trips me out about the whole situation. Like Xbox got ridiculed for the situations that happened with Sunset Overdrive and Quantum Break and things like that. But you hearing about a game that sold particularly well, and it wasn't enough for Sony, and they rather bring a remake.
I'm gonna keep this nice and short and sweet, for obvious reasons.
Right,
But
right,
no
right, right.
one's. I look at it like this: no one really know the long term strategy that Sony's doing, so I'm gonna reserve judgment on that. But in the meantime, like I'm looking forward to Returnal and Ratchet and Clank, which should drop in the next few months here. And so, I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll do well. I mean, Returnal reminds me of Recore, so I'm all about that. The fast paced shooting and platforming, I'm all about that. So yeah.
Okay, all right, I got you. Corporate talk, I nothing wrong with that.
Hey.
Hey, got you're a professional now. Let's go ahead and get to D. What is your thoughts for closing us out on this topic, man, about what Sony's strategy is and what they're doing?
It kind of confirms what I thought was going to happen. Unfortunately, I feel like I don't mean that with Sony. I mean that just in general. And what I mean by that is we kind of saw it last generation or so because with my first thought when I saw it was Grand Theft 5 and Skyrim, where it's just like, how many times y'all gonna release definitive, remastered, enhanced, and it's just like, when Rockstar teamed with Sony to show that they were bringing Grand Theft 5 to PS5, I was just like, Lord, another generation of the same game. And I'm a huge Rockstar fan. So I'm just like, okay, we're at that point where enough is enough. What's going on? So I was very surprised because I haven't heard of a game getting remastered and then getting a remake. That to me, I don't understand why I don't get it, because my thought process, and I definitely could be wrong, is that when you remake or remaster a game, it's because it's on a new generation and you can't currently play it on that generation, or it's been so long that let's see it with fresh eyes. Similar to the Demon Soul that's come out. They did another one. I can't remember the name of it. I think it was Medieval. It's like it's been so long. It's been 15 years. Let's see it with today's standards. That made sense. So even if you could play a Medieval game on whatever console, it kind of got a fresh coating. But this one, I don't understand, because it's just like you can play The Last of Us today, like as is. You can play it, and because you're on stronger hardware, it's gonna look better regardless. So I'm not sure why they went with this one. And somebody posted on Twitter, a list of franchises that haven't had games: Twisted Metal, Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper, Resistance.
Wow,
games that had, to my knowledge, could be wrong, but games that had no new iterations, all of PS4. Like, imagine, they're not going to do E3, which is cool. Imagine Sony this summer is like, look, y'all, we got new Jack and Daxter, new Resistance, new all this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
That would break the internet, and I'd be happy with that. I haven't played a lot of them, but I definitely want to see a Sly Cooper. They could blow our minds and do a new Mod Nation Racers. That's me having hope, but it does. I don't understand what is this fascination with Last of Us, especially like someone previously said, the cloud that surrounded it between the leaks and when the game came out. You would think they'd want to kind of let it blow over a little bit, maybe be like, all right, y'all, just in case you don't have it, but to so fresh on the heels of that release, I don't understand. And for it to be 70, I don't know. I don't see the business aspect of it. I didn't know about the TV show, to be honest. I knew about an Uncharted movie, but I didn't know about the TV show. And I know sometimes when movies release and series come out, I think when The Witcher came out, they did something special with Witcher where it was just like, hey, y'all, play The Witcher again. But I don't see the motivation besides money. And that saddens me.
See, and that's the smoke I got. See, now I got to give all y'all the smoke because that's exactly what it is. It's an easy play for money. They want to go the easy route instead of doing all the things that you just named, D, all the different games that you just named. They're going to go for something easy. Look, the remaster for the first Last of Us that came out on PS3 came out in 2014. So it's 6 years removed. They're making a TV show. That is the entire purpose. They're remastering the remaster so they can create a collection.
Go ahead, Delilah. Go ahead, Delilah.
Good question, real quick for Steel, but mostly. So I mean, just so I'm clear, do we know? Did they announce it when this remake is coming out? Is that
no, not per se, but we're using our opinion. I'm just saying why I feel this way.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The entire reason that I feel this way is just because it's blatantly. You got to look at the metrics of everything. You can say it's perfect timing or it's just random or whatever the case might be, but it's not random. They are making a show. Why is it all of a sudden they want to remaster the first game now again? Reason being is because there's plenty of people who have not played this game. We have to get out of our circle. Yeah, we've all played it, sure. But once TV gets a lot of attention, will get the attention of people who have not thought about this game, who did not care about this game. And then they're going to watch this TV show. There's going to be a whole other audience that this TV show grabs. They're going to be like, oh, they have a game? Oh, there's a collection coming out. Oh, it's completely redone. It looks good. It's on the PS5. Oh, yeah, let me drop the $70 for that. Because K-Mega, believe it or not, the reason I have not played Last of Us 2 is because when I played Last of Us 1 and I played that multiplayer, I told myself then, if the second part does not have multiplayer, I will not play it. Why? Because I am a multiplayer-centric gamer. That's just what it is. Now, there's plenty of other people who are like that, but there's also plenty of other people who haven't touched the game, regardless of the flack that it's gotten, regardless of how y'all feel about it. We have to get out of our circle. There's a whole other mass of people who have not seen or touched this game. They've heard about it, and nobody wants to play an older version of a game.
Okay, so
that's the reason why Sony's going to do. They're taking the easy way out.
I get that, but this is why I have to disagree with you 100% on this. It's because of the fact that Sony pushed. No. I respect your. Listen, we all respect each other's views. It's not saying that you're wrong because
I get surprised you disagree.
We're having a discussion. So
we're having a discussion. This is my point on this: is that they pushed it so hard for the remaster. Or for the remaster, because of the fact that the 360 was the darling of that gen previous to this gen, that now PlayStation is the darling of last gen, and and trust me, that game catapulted that game to get the notoriety that it has. If Lemon was here, he would say it. And I'm going to quote him. That game didn't sell well on the PlayStation 3. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? It got all the accolades, but the game didn't sell well. But that game, when it came out as a remaster on the PlayStation, just like God of War 3. God of War 3 did well, but, and you see they didn't do that with Ascension because they were already making the leaps forward from the transition from Jaffe to Cory Barlog's version of God of War. This is the thing right here is where it is I think the problem with the gaming community. Yes, we understand what Sony's angle is behind it, but the way that Sony would come, the way that Sony's advertising was, the way that the people that are higher ups or the higher content creators would use it and utilize against Microsoft is that, it's too much Halo, Gears, and Forza. Now, and this is something that I've said on Next, I've said on this podcast, I've said everywhere. Sony's going to start doing the same thing. We want to see if that same energy is going to be applied when they start seeing their moneymaker games be exploited like Halo, Gears, and Forza. And now we're starting to see it. PlayStation fans aren't liking it. Listen, I understand it's about money, but it's just like what D said. It's about where's Resistance, where's Legend of Legaia, where's these games. They're too afraid now. And they're doing the same exact thing where Microsoft was at the end at the end of the 360 generation, starting the PlayStation. The Xbox One generation, where they didn't want to spend the money on new content, and if it didn't hit a certain threshold money wise, they were too scared to want to do a sequel to that. And that's the problem. Sony was the dominant, not close, but the dominant leader in the gaming market last gen. There should be no fucking excuses for them to do this, to still keep on trying to milk people for a game that's going to be out for what, 15 years? I can understand if people were saying, well, we got a new, just think of this for this aspect, and then people can go ahead and say what they want to after I'm done with this. Let's just say that Halo 1 kept on being remastered. Like The Last of Us is going to be remastered. It would be a bloodbath. The gaming media, everyone would say that the Master Chief Collection was getting even slander. So that's the problem I think that even PlayStation fans are having. Like, yo, I just bought this game. And people who just transferred over from the Xbox to PlayStation saying, man, I played that already. That was supposed to be this and that. I understand that you're going to put prettier graphics on it and make it run better, but I played this game already. Unless they're going to completely change this game, like with Final Fantasy VII, which will cause another issue, I don't see the reasoning behind it when there's so many great IPs that PlayStation has under their umbrella.
I got a quick question. So, because we don't know the release date. So, what if by the time just land devil's advocate, let's say what if by the time this remakes that the media is talking about, what if it come out and the industry is ready for it? Like, it's been because the original one came out in 2013. Let's say it comes out 2023, 10 years later, and now the industry is ready for it to see a remake. So it's because development takes a long time.
It does, but that could happen. But the show is coming out this year? So it's going to have to come out soon, which is also another thing to me where it's like they've been working on this. That's why the article was so bizarre, is because they took Ben Studios away from their creative freedoms and then directed them to do something that was not a creative freedom and forced them to do this. That's why so many people quit. That was something that the PlayStation community kept on telling Xbox gamers that Xbox needed to start doing, instead of worrying about what 343 is only doing or what the coalition's doing with just the big heavy hitters. They should have more creative freedom to make more games out of those studios. Well, Xbox said, I got something new for your ass. I'm going to buy Bethesda or ZeniMax, and I'm going to buy all these other studios, so you ain't got to worry about what's going on with 343 and with Coalition. If they decide that they want to do it, that's fine. But we have plenty other things. Sony doesn't have that luxury. Sony's studios are declining. They're doing exactly what they're going through the same situation that Xbox was going through last gen. And that to me is where they're like, look, we gotta make as much money as we possibly can, because it's just too risky to make games. And if they don't give us the amount of profit that we're looking at, then we're just not going to take that chance. That's the dangerous point about it, because the one thing about Sony, and what we've all said about Sony, is that Sony has been one of the originators of giving us games that are completely out the box and different. That's why we had Resistance. That's why we had games like The Last of Us, and then we got those second and third party games for Final Fantasy and Persona and all that. Now it's just turned into what Xbox was and hated for last gen, in my opinion. Anybody else got anything to say about this?
Well, the only pushback that I'm gonna give you on that is that I do want y'all to understand. Like, I agree with y'all's point. They should be doing something different.
Mm-hmm.
But it was based off the question that you asked with what the reasoning for them remaking this game. Is where I'm coming from.
Right.
But I 100% agree. I don't get why. But at the same time, that's why I made my original point.
Yeah.
I get it, but I don't. It makes Sony come across as if they don't know what to do next, and they're trying to go with a safe bet. They know that they're gonna have marketing coming up. They know that they have they have these plans coming up, and they want to make a guaranteed bet, something that they can guarantee is gonna make them some money. Again, it could be one of those things where when they remastered it last time, for some reason, maybe there was an issue to bring it to PC, or they tried to bring it to PC and it just didn't work. So that was like, okay, well, let's just go in and remaster, and now we're going to release it to everything now. PC, PlayStation, and PlayStation 5. It's always going to be a brand new thing, and everybody's going to love it. Oh, and there's going to be a show out. Oh, there's going to be so much hype on it. And when you do it like that, especially with everything that's in the news from your competitor side, it makes it seem like you're grasping at straws. You're desperate. You're looking for an easy way out. And that's my overall point. Sony's looking, to me, it looks like Sony's looking for an easy dig, and something that they can depend on overall. Yeah. Should they be making other games and investing in other things? Yes, but do they have the capital to do it right now? I don't know, because the revenue that they make on a yearly basis has to get poured right back into.
No, I totally agree with you. I mean, this is what Xbox was living off of with Halo, Gears, and Forza.
But the thing with Xbox though, not to interrupt real quick. At least Xbox was actually moving forward with their games. They're giving you the same game and telling you they're going to completely remaster it again.
Yeah, right.
And that's the difference.
That's the difference.
You should be upright.
Yeah, and that's the part where I'm just kind of like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, The Last of Us should already speak for itself. It's already got labeled as one of the best games out there. It's in the top 20 of all time. So that should speak for itself. The game just was done. If you was going to do that, then you should have brought then it should have not even had a money grab pitch for last gen, and they should have had the remake ready for day one, or when the start of this show come, and then I wouldn't have anything to complain about. But this is just all about making money on an IP that they know that they can make money off of.
And to also add on,
it's smart, but it's still grimy.
It's scummy.
And it's scummy.
Yes, exactly. So and to add on, the other difference too is that Halo, Gears, and Forza are all multiplayer based games.
Right.
Those games can have life.
Right. That's that's the thing.
The other side.
Halo, Gears, and Forza are all multiplayer. But okay, all right. So Delilah, we got two more topics. We're gonna keep it moving. So if you could stay on with us, we're gonna get out of here. But I got to move on to this one. It's Kojima. The rumor of Kojima working with Microsoft. Now, if you
that's my cue, I'm out.
What'd you say?
Ooh. I said that's my cue, I'm out. No.
Okay. I was like, oh damn, all right, damn. It's got sense.
I'm joking.
No, that's okay. Yeah. But okay, this is the thing right here is where if you were here from the very beginning of the show, you'll see the intro where me and Don was talking on Devin the Gamer just like Tuesday, where I brought that up, and then Don was alluding to it, and then all of a sudden, then here comes more rumors. I think that just that the next day, where everybody was where all the media was bringing up the stuff about, Kojima's over here supposed to be working with Microsoft. This has been in the talks for a very long time, but now it's starting to get louder. And something that we've been noticing within Microsoft, especially coming into this generation, where there's smoke, there's fire. And yeah, some things, for the most part, I think when it comes to business, when there's huge acquisitions or there's business involved, it takes time. Where the whole talk about, we've been talking about Sega. I still think Sega is in play in some way, shape, or form, maybe partnership. If it's an acquisition, it would be absolutely incredible. But the thing here with me, and I'm going to go to you straight. I'm going to go to you first, Delilah, on this one, is what is your thoughts? Because what I asked Don in that clip was, okay, so GeForce, Death Stranding is on PC. all of a sudden, people were able through the beta to play through the Chrome Edge, through the new Chrome Edge that's coming, to play Steam games on their Xbox. All the other games are playable. That game, Death Stranding, got pulled, which I was asking Don, if every other game is still available to be played through their beta, and I know that it's touchy, and I know, what I'm saying, so dance, pirouette like all you want to, be a ballerina dancer. But the question I'm asking you is that, and what I asked Don, is this an indication that Death Stranding is one of those games that's going to come over to Xbox because of them pulling that game out of the blue?
I have no idea.
Ah,
I have no idea at all.
Okay. So what
I
is
haven't ever played Death Stranding. I watched the movie. I know that Lady Infamous streamed it, so I watched her play a good bit. Yeah, very beautiful game, pretty game, but no, I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful game, beautiful looking game. Okay, so let me just ask you this then, because I don't, I know where you work. So, would you like for that particular game to come over to be available for Xbox? Would you think that maybe Xbox, since Phil has already alluded that he is going to be working with Japanese developers from all over, pretty much for just more than just Japanese, but the East itself, to try to bring in more content from the East to Xbox? Would that be a good look for Xbox to get a game like that?
As a gamer, I want all the games. I mean, I want to play everything on it, especially with achievements, all that. Like, I would love to see more JRPGs on the platform. I love the fact that they released Octopath Traveler on Game Pass. I thought that was a good look. So I would like to see everything on the platform. So I'm kind of the wrong person to ask.
I got you. I got you. No. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so all right. Well, thank you for your input on that. Said if you could just hold on for one more topic, and then we'll get out of here. D.
Okay.
What? Make it quick. What do you think? Give me your intuition. You don't work at Microsoft, but I want to hear it. Do you think that Death Stranding is going to be able to come? And hold on. There's also more rumors that there are games. There's another game that Kojima and Xbox are going to be working on that's going to be exclusive. Do you think? What game do you think that would be? Other than Death Stranding.
So, like Delilah HD said, I too am just like, give me all the games. I mean, I could have gotten Death Stranding, but it's not my primary system, so I was just like, I don't know. But I definitely want the game to come. When it comes to games that aren't, the God of War, the Gran Turismo, the peak PlayStation games, I feel like everything is open. Because the same thing happened with No Man's Sky. They're like, no, PS exclusive, that's it. And the next thing you know, it was like, oh, we're getting it. So I think it is definitely possible for Death Stranding to come to the platform. I think Kojima may see, or I don't know if they're really in talks. I don't know, but I feel like his creative freedom would definitely be nurtured if there was to be an exclusive. I don't think money would be an object either, which I want to say was the main gripe that Konami had with him. But if there is an exclusive, I was talking to my friend about it, and I was like, it would be ridiculously wild if Xbox got Kojima to make Silent Hill. But I don't know. That would be kind of cool. But that's all I can think of. I'm not even going to try to dissect Kojima's mind, but that would be cool if that teaser that was out actually came to fruition. I think that would be a good partnership. And again, I feel like Kojima would be able to spread his wings. He'd have the money to do it. If they are really in talks to get him on the platform, I think that would be a great start. But, you never know. Just keep my ears to the streets.
Okay, no. Excellent point. All right, so let me go to you, Slayer. What do you think about this, man? I mean, do you think Death Stranding is going to be coming over to the Xbox? And what game, if this rumor is true, would Xbox and Kojima be working on to be exclusive?
Okay, so first up,
If you heard me you was on the next podcast, so you heard my theory on it, but you could,
right. And I do have a little. Anyway,
yeah.
Okay, first, shout out to 108 Dragons TV and what he was saying in DMs in that whole conversation we were having today about him. So I gotta say this one point that really he's adamant about this, and frankly, I got a co-sign because that was in poor form by Kojima, and that was when Death Stranding flat out failed because it's a freaking walking simulator. That's literally what it is. The gameplay elements are the weight on your back and the way you walk on terrain, and you have your bath. Your weapons are basically your bath water and bodily fluids that they weapon. Like, this is, I'm not exaggerating when I say these things. Okay, so I'm insulting the game. It's not like I'm insulting the game. I'm just saying straight fact. That's what these are elements of the game. It's a walking simulator. Okay, so I don't know why people think it's this great thing, but then obviously it flopped. And then who does he blame? He blames the West.
Right.
Like, what the hell? We're the ones who put you on, because your people weren't buying your games. It wasn't the Japanese who bought the Metal Gear games like that. It was everybody else. It was America and Europe. It wasn't Japan. Like, they sold a couple of copies, but like generally, like if it was just up to Japan, he never would have had a sequel after the first PlayStation game. That would have been it. Okay? So, and I've mentioned many times my history with Metal Gear, and that was the first third-party game I ever bought in my life in the Nintendo, okay? The original Metal Gear game. That's like, I have a love for that franchise and many of the other games that he made. Except for Death Stranding, I think that's a horrible game, but besides that, it was his childish reaction to the fact that it flopped, right? That it's just like, yo, you need to check yourself with that. But that aside, this is Hideo Kojima. Put respect on his name still. He's an auteur. His games have sold. He's parlayed it to other things. This is what you were alluding to with the Castlevania games, the Lords of Shadow, and I forgot what the sequel was. I think it was
Lords of Shadow 2.
Lords of Shadow 2.
Yeah.
I thought it had it more complicated, and I guess it didn't. And Kojima Productions has, I think they've dealt with a Silent Hills game, or they were planning to. That's what PT was, right? Like, they could return to that project, he had this bad fallout with Konami, but that was over money. If Konami doesn't have to spend their money, and Microsoft is the one who's footing the bill, why should Konami care?
Right.
No matter what happened between them, why should Kojima care? Especially now. Beggars can't be choosers. So choose up. You feel me? And as for a title, will Death Stranding come? I'm 50-50 on it because I think the Xbox community overall doesn't like the game either. It sold so poorly. I don't think anybody really wants it. I don't think the effort is even worth it, honestly. And no, I don't mean that as slander or anything or shade or nothing. Just like, I honestly do not think it's even worth making physical copies. If it was digital only, and that's only going to put shame on the name of the game, and it's, further going to gatekeep it. So why even bother?
But that's why that's what I was saying, that it would be great for putting that game on Game Pass. Wouldn't you agree?
On Game Pass, yeah, but that's digital only then. Game Pass, digital only. If they can do that, sure. I mean, put it on. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't even download it. Hey, I didn't even download Outriders, and I have nothing against that game. I'm definitely not gonna get this. But that's just me, right? If you do and you like it, more power to you. But what kind of title would
Sorry
he
for the
put
mic
out next?
No, I'm sorry. Okay.
I think if he's doing something with Xbox, it would have to be an original new IP, something new once again. Hopefully, he learns the lessons from Death Stranding and actually makes a good game this time, and that would be great. Yeah, I'd love to see that, something new instead.
Just to piggyback off of Sick real quick.
Yes.
In my in my past life, when I worked at GameStop when Death Stranding came out.
Mm.
And he's not lying. That game came back so quickly. My location had to stop accepting it because we
Whoa.
were overloaded with copies of it. And people were getting pissed because it was, y'all know GameStop's policy. You buy a new game, you
Right,
open
right,
it,
right.
you only get the trade value. So, we had to do trainings just like every other, company communications, just like every other company. And that was one of the things where it's just like, hey, y'all, so we're going to pause trades for Stranding real fast at our location because we had like a drawer and then we had to transfer that drawer to a box and send it to the warehouse because people were trading it in faster than we could sell it pre-owned. So that is accurate. At least for my location. I can't say on a national scale, but at least my location, that was accurate. So if they want to do something experimental, they may want to consider digital and then go physical because I know a lot of copies became coasters at my store. Unfortunately.
Oh my goodness. You heard it here first. A person that was an insider pretty much that worked on the retail end. Man. Okay. Slayer, you got anything else to say after that? Okay. All right.
All right.
Okay. All right. So let me go to PK. What's your thoughts on this, brother? What I mean, you know what I'm saying, what do you think about these rumors? Does it make any sense? And on top of that, like, do you think that Death Stranding will be the next game that'll be coming to Xbox and Game Pass?
So I just want to be clear. Death Stranding won't come to Xbox because it's a Sony published game.
You sure about that?
Yes.
MLB The Show.
MLB The
MLB The
Show.
Show is not
MLB
published by
it.
Sony. It's published by MLB. That's the difference.
Sony doesn't own Kojima Games though, or his production.
They did develop it, but they didn't publish it. It's two different things.
Don't they own the IP though? Don't they own the IP?
They don't own no, because I mean no, they don't. They don't own the PP.
Sony published the game, so since they published the game, it won't come to Xbox. MLB is on Xbox is not being published by Sony. It's being published by MLB. That's the difference. So that won't happen. Neither do I want it because I played the game and man, it was not a good game. It's horrible, very frustrating game to play or try. I would say because definitely didn't make it.
Is the story good though? The story was decent.
No, you know what's you know what I really hated the fact that you go in and take a shower and they have this long sequence of him taking a shower and getting out, changing clothes. And that's the highlight of my, because hey, if you drop your package, you get stuck on some glitch on the game, package fall over, you don't let it be a bomb because you're definitely gonna die. You gotta start over. Yeah, no. Then you got these things coming out of the ground, grabbing your leg. You don't even know what they are. You don't get to fight them. They just come out, start grabbing your legs. Anyways, game is not a good game. Whatever this game is, if it's true, the rumors of him going to another publisher, it was Stadia first. That's what you guys don't fail to realize. Just a few months ago, the rumors came out that he was in talks with Stadia to get a new game published.
Yep, 100%.
And now it's Microsoft. Now, I'm not saying that that's not true. I have no idea. But what you guys also have to realize is this guy's track record is horrible. He goes way over budget and he doesn't make the money back. That is bad business. So even if he was to publish a game, even if Microsoft was to publish a game, they're not going to throw the purse at him. Because that's why he got fired for Konami. And guess what, guys? Konami's showing up to E3 this year. Did you guys think about that? What do they got to show?
Oh,
they don't have any first-party studios.
Oh, they Bloody Roar. They're gonna show Bloody Roar.
Wait. I'm just saying they're showing up. So that means that they have intentions in staying in this game, even if it means licensing it out for other people to make the game for them.
Mm-hmm.
But for his Kojima, he's begging people for money. And Sony got burnt. They published this game, they gave him the money, they threw the purse at him, did not get the return they were looking for. That's why it was, I think it was Epic Store exclusive for a while. Then it came to Steam, and it never made the top 10. You know what's top 10 on Steam every month? A Microsoft game. Matter of fact, the top 20 games on Steam right now, out of the 20, 9 of them are Microsoft published. The thing is, no one wants Death Stranding. I know a lot of people like to criticize. Well, even him criticizing the Western game, and word for word, he said the Western people don't understand artistic style games.
Right. Yeah, he said that.
He's basically criticizing us for not liking his taste of games. And I keep saying this, and I know Still Rain might have a different opinion, but it's one thing to be a developer and want a direction on how you want your games made, but you have to understand who your audience is. If you make something that's so convoluted that no one understands what it is, no one's going to enjoy it. I don't care what it looks like. They're going to put it down. They're going to lose interest. Part of why you're doing this is because you want your audience to enjoy the game, not just your artistic direction, because that doesn't matter. I don't know if you guys played his last Metal Gear, but he literally contradicted his story in the same game.
Yeah.
No, he did.
Pow, pow,
I,
pow,
I
pow,
enjoyed it
pow.
nonetheless. I enjoyed
Yes,
it
he
nonetheless.
did.
But
it was cool, but I mean, it wasn't as good as his previous games.
But my thing is,
it started going left when Sons of the Patriots game came out.
he is not good at storytelling. He needs somebody to do that for him. He's good at making
mooing and shit.
cinematic,
robots mooing like cows.
cinematic set pieces.
Yeah.
That's what he's good at. And some people say he should make movies instead, which I agree, because he's not good at storytelling. He needs somebody to do the writing and the producing, right? He needs somebody on his side to help him. But Microsoft may do it because Game Pass is a good venture, but they're definitely not going to just throw the purse at him. They got to be able to recruit that return. And Microsoft got burnt more than once. They even had to get rid of Lionhead Studios for going over budget.
That was old Microsoft, though. They got the
point I'm making is, well, I mean, we interviewed one of the ladies that was part of that, and she admitted we kept trying new stuff. And sometimes when you try to do stuff too long, and you have stuff due, the clock runs out. You can't just keep doing it. And that my thing is, that is the point. Is Kojima is, for some reason, has this fascination a lot of people love about him, but his track record, when you look at the games he put out, none of his games have attachments.
What are you talking about? Zone of the Enders don't have attachment? Come on now.
Don't get me wrong. Zone of Enders is a great game. I love it. I love 1 and 2. I got them both.
Yeah, they're fantastic games.
But a lot of people don't know what Zone of Enders is.
Oh, that might be true, but I mean, that's
you and me. 100%. I would love for Zone of Enders to go to Game Pass.
Yeah.
I would love for him to make a part 3 to come out.
That would be on Konami, not on him though.
Right, but I love the crap out of that. But the point I'm making is that was his big problem with Konami, is his big budget games cost too much to make, and there was no real return. They're still sitting in a red in his last ventures with Konami. Now Sony's sitting in the red. What I'm saying is I don't think it's wise to let him go wild without some kind of game plan.
Oh right, yeah. Well, yeah. You gotta restrain him. You know, so because he has really broad visions, and that's the great point. I mean, no, that is a really good point. Okay, I'm gonna touch on this, and then we're gonna get to the last topic, and then we're gonna get out of here. But I do want to say this though, for what you're saying, brother. PK. This is why I think that, for one reason, why Kojima has not yet succeeded to his full potential is because of the fact that he his mind is too broad. Like it's too out there for the average gamer to comprehend. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that he's a super being or anything, but it's pretty apparent that, like, with Death Stranding, I got Death Stranding, but if if Death Stranding would come to Xbox, which I still think that it will. Now, that's going to be, one of us is going to be wrong on it, and if I am, I'm going to just say, hey, look, I was wrong. But I think because of the fact that, and I think that's why, Sony, I think that the whole thing with the MLB, Sony just went ahead because they seen that there was so many PlayStation fans that were upset behind that they used MLB as a scapegoat. When they already knew beforehand that MLB was talking about, look, we got to do more. And if Sony didn't like that direction, Sony would have been like, well, we'll just bow out gracefully, because the game, it sells, but it doesn't sell to the strong numbers, especially when you look at other sports games. Death Stranding, on the other hand, it's a game that it's an acquired taste, but I guarantee you that there will be some Xbox gamers that would accept it, that would like it. And just for the mere fact they'll play it because they want to throw that slander at PlayStation fans. It's like, oh, y'all was bragging about this highly acclaimed game. It's on Xbox now, and and Game Pass gives that direction. I mean, gives that overall satisfaction to where gamers like Steel or Sick or whatever that had no interest, but because there might be one homeboy that say, you know what, that game had a little bit of something to it, that he'll go ahead and download it. But just because. That's why I think if it's going to come to Xbox, it has to be on Game Pass. If they just try to sell it at a $60 or a $40 a $50 price, it's not going to fly. Nobody's going to buy it. So, but you could be right, like I said. But this is the overall thing to me, is where Kojima and Konami working together, because they've already patched a lot of the problems that they've had. That was in articles that I've read here a couple of months ago. And if Microsoft is involved, and you know how Phil Spencer's trying to have more unity than chaos. If he's looking at it a situation to where we can bring back Castlevania to the Xbox as an exclusive, and Kojima can have a solid budget behind it, we could have some pretty, because a lot of people didn't know that he worked on the Lord of Shadows and Lord of Shadows 2, which those games are absolutely great. Those are fire ass games. So if Kojima can have the creative freedom to work on something, and then Xbox can have it exclusive, that kills kills a bird with two stones. With just I might have said that wrong, sorry, but because you have one of the most, because of namesake, Kojima behind an Xbox product yet again, and you have a classic that people have been asking for to come to Xbox, I think that the marriage would be perfect. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, just to touch in real quick. The whole Kojima thing, 'cause I wanted to touch on something PK said. For me, Kojima developing, or his artistic touch, or whatever the case, whatever you want to call it, if it comes out and it's just not a good game, then it's just not good. If it's not garnering attention, then it's just not garnering attention. Whether he wants to blame that on the Western gamer or the Antarctica gamer, the South Pole gamer, whoever he wants to blame it on, is completely irrelevant if it's not pulling the mass. Obviously, people from your own country don't even mess with the game like that. So that should speak volume with itself. It's one of those things, like, I'm all for a dev having their vision and portraying their game in a certain way, but we as gamers also have this choice to drop your game. And that's something that we have to keep in mind, brother. If Kojima is one of those guys that just doesn't have what it takes to put out a solid game himself, and like PK was kind of saying, everybody else is pretty much saying, he's more of the movie kind of guy who can put some good cutscenes together and really pull you in that way, then cool, maybe that's the role he wants to pick. But obviously that's not what he wants to do. Now, should Death Stranding come to Game Pass? Sure, why not? What is it going to hurt? If they cut a deal with each other, like they're in talks right now, supposedly, from what we've seen from people like Jeff Grubb who's talked about it. If they're in talking with lawyers or whatever the case might be, and Xbox is supposedly also in talks with Konami on maybe working with them on a couple titles, there's no telling what could end up happening there. Because if he does have the ability to get back to Metal Gear, something that's his baby, and with the proper guidance, he might be able to put out a Metal Gear console, well, not necessarily a console exclusive, but a Xbox exclusive that could turn the industry on its head. And that could be what he might need to get his name right back within the community, or whatever the case might be. It's one of those things where, again, we as the gamers are going to overall decide whether your game is going to live or die. If he was saying, because I'm not familiar from when he said that, but if he was saying that, then dog, you see what happened. You say things like that, people don't play your game, it doesn't live up to whatever you wanted to live up to, and you blame it on artistic vision. No, it's not the artistic vision, bro. I can show you other artistic games that get played. They're in the top 10 games played right now. Like, that's not what the point is. It just didn't hit the way that you thought it did. I don't necessarily know if it's a money sink, because again, Xbox is trying to get into the Japanese market, into the Asian market, and really hit it hard. If they can get some of those games into, for example, when they get into the Game Pass and it gets into xCloud and whatnot, and it gets into those mobile gamers or whatever the case, that could be a way that his name could start getting brought back up. But right now, it's kind of seems like, from what I've heard from not just y'all, but from like the majority, whether you go to Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, there's an overlooming shadow over him right now, and it's kind of like everybody's pretty much on the same edge, or on the edge of the seat. Like, bro, I really don't care what you do, but put out something that's worth it to me, and let's see if he can make it happen. If not, he's going to die just like with everything else. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
No doubt. All right. So let's get to it. This will be pretty quick, because I don't think that anybody's going to really go, dive deep into this last topic. I'm saying, sorry, PK, we can't talk about Spider-Man. We can't talk about Spider-Man and Netflix, but E3's relevance. I talked about this on Devin the Gamer. And then it turned into just kind of like how it did last week, when me and Lemon was talking about like just the celebration of us being at E3, and just the camaraderie and just all of that, just the love of that, and how I would never want that to go away. But okay, and this is just going to be an open discussion. Everybody can just jump in and say what they want to without taking turns. Is E3 still relevant after this? Because I was listening to when 108 had King David on, and King David pretty much just said E3 is dead. Don has been on the same situation, same wavelength, and saying like, look, it's not looking good for E3 overall. I still have hope into it, that that E3 is still relevant, and that it still has a place. But overall, what do you guys think? I mean, is E3, and I know we're going to have an E3 21, but is it as relevant as it used to be, or has it kind of fallen off, not only because of the pandemic, but just because of, people have fallen out, like Sony and a couple of other publishers that's left?
For me, initially, E3 is something that I always looked somewhere I wanted to go, just because it was like, oh, you see all the devs in one place, you see all these media people, and it was like, okay, this is the place where you can finally touch and meet these people. But then you find out that there's other events like PAX, you know what I mean, where it's more community focused. For E3, over the last decade, it's become more of a trailer focused event, where we're really looking for E3 to see what the big announcements are. I mean, that's essentially it nowadays. I mean, I know for a lot of people it was like, getting the camaraderie and getting together, and I feel like if they focus on that would be dope. But even with that, E3 wasn't set up like that before. Before it was a tight knit thing where devs got together, showed off games, whatever the case, to a closed off amount of people. And now that they've opened it up, it just seems like to me E3 hasn't innovated itself enough to keep up with the Joneses per se. When you have people like Jeff Keighley who could put shows together, and he's getting better with it over time, as we've seen from that last event he held. It was solid. It's one of the best game events that we've seen so far, game shows we've seen so far, per se. Regardless how you feel about the guy, he's putting in a direction to be put on notice, to make it feel like it's really important. It's something that E3 needs to make sure that they kind of pay attention to if they want to keep it alive. And I don't necessarily know what direction that they want to take. I know Phil's on the board with them, and they're also part of the reason why a lot of laws and stuff don't get changed. They have a big say in that. It's just, I feel like E3 is an integral part, but how integral do they feel they are to the community? I guess is my thing. And until they display that, I guess we'll see where it goes. But right now, it's just become more of a trailer haven and a place where you look for new content. So,
all right, anybody else?
I mean, just to piggyback on what Still said, I mean, I agree with them largely. That for me, E3 has always been a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I've enjoyed going, meeting people, but outside of that, it needs to innovate a bit more than what it's been doing in recent history.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole pandemic didn't do it any favors, of course.
No.
But I do think they need to pivot and definitely take cues from what Jeff Keighley has done with the Game Awards. I mean, I think what he's done has been phenomenal as far as being able to show trailers, the timing of it, finally getting the pacing down.
Facts.
And you can just kind of see that growth with how he's managing things over there. So, but I mean, as someone who's been a huge fan of E3 in years past, I do not want to see it to go away. I also feel like the industry needs E3 just as much as E3 needs the industry. Because typically with E3, it's like that's when the world pay attention, right? That's when you got your ABC, CBS, other mainstream media pay attention when E3 rolls around. And so I would hate to see that as being like a lost thing, because a lot of these bigger entities don't know what a Game Awards is enough to pay attention to it. But as soon as they hear E3, they kind of know, oh yeah, that's the convention that happens once a year with all publishing houses and all development teams, come together that 1 week rather to talk about their games and what's coming out new. So yeah, me being just a bit of a nostalgia, I don't want to see it go away. And I think they do have room to make changes. Because PAX has been doing things the right way. I love the way they make things a bit more intimate. It's easy to kind of ask questions of the developers with those type of events. So it's a lot they need to learn from. I think they're a bit behind, but they have room to grow. So I just
I just wanted to say E3, to reference the conversation of Runaway Dragons and Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, there's a car outside running all of a sudden. But yeah, so he was saying about he was speaking to King David from the Iron Lords, and King David is like, he's of the opinion E3 is dead. Lemon isn't really trying to hear that because it's what
I disagree with King David on that too, but
I do too. But at the time I was more 50-50, right? And I could see it being dead or not. Like the pandemic was really a really bad shot to them, And so I feel like the thing about it was what came to my mind was also that when they announced the digital E3 this year and that Nintendo and Microsoft are down. Listen, if E3 was so dead, why are Nintendo and Microsoft down? Like, they were quick to be able to announce them. And Sony wants to go and do their own thing and run their own thing and do their own lane. Like, they've been trying to be, quote unquote, pretend different for a little while now and not being a part of E3, right? Because the narrative ain't working for them now. Once again, typical Sony. But overall, I think E3 has a chance. I feel if Microsoft and Nintendo were so quick to be down once again, because E3 is like is gaming Christmas for news, right? Like you have a week of especially if it's new console year, right? Where you get those presentations, those iconic presentations of these new systems and games and new announcements and new series and new IPs that are revealed at E3s, even when it's not a new console year, you know, or the year after the new console comes out. So this year's E3 is pretty major because there's a lot of games and software and possibly even hardware to show and prove what's going to be on these systems for the next year or 2 years. And maybe a game that we see at this E3, we're going to see at the next E3 again. Like, let's be honest, you know, Sony is good for that too, but they ain't the only ones. EA, Microsoft, although a lot of companies have been learning not to do that too much. I mean, we've seen what happened with Cyberpunk being the glaring example everybody likes to use, but that's a really just like wild example that's a bit too accurate. But people will love to just put out a situation like that for shade. But either way, point still being made. Like E3 is that celebration, even if you're not able to go. I've never been, and in fact, if it wasn't for the pandemic, like we'd be, you know, still in preparation to go for a second time in a row this year. Like I would have went last year, and I'd be going this year, and we'd be wrapping up our plans and stuff, you know. But because of the pandemic, that didn't happen. So I can only view E3 as a person who just watches it from the internet, and just like everybody else in the chat, it's like gaming Christmas. You know, I've taken off work to watch the major press conferences that don't happen on the weekend. And actually, I work on the week. I work Sundays, so I take those days off as soon as I find out when E3 is. I request those days off, and I've done that for this E3, huh?
Event, yeah, like that's one thing I really didn't care for this past year was the fact that you had this drip feed of information that as a gamer, like I didn't know when things were dropping, didn't know what publishing house was dropping, what developer was doing what. It's just like you got a drip feed, and it's like we can get those things anytime, right? We can get trailer drops anytime. It just doesn't have the same vibe. Right. I think it's right, exactly.
Right. And Jeff Keighley's and you know what I'm saying, no disrespect, but those events and everybody else's event, even Microsoft's event was one of the best along with Sony's, but it just wasn't E3. Oh no, go ahead, Delilah. I was co-signing your point, but I was just saying the same thing though, you know, on that.
Yeah. Look at, I mean, just the way, and people kept comparing how people were doing their videos. They compare how Sony did their, you know, when they dropped their videos to what Microsoft had done with their videos. And it's just like that one-to-one comparisons, like it's just very different than someone walking out on stage and you see in the crowd and people reacting in real time. Because you can cheer, it's different from cheering on your couch versus, or in your gaming chair or your office chair versus cheering in a stadium. It's just very, and as you know, you get, I mean, it's something, I mean, Kameka, I'm pretty sure you're familiar, like being in that stadium, seeing those, everything in real time and just hearing like that whole reaction. It's a completely different vibe. Like I said, it's a vibe. Yeah. And I would hate for it to,
that was the term I wanted to use too.
Yeah.
Dark Artemis is saying let the panel go so they can play games. No doubt that we about to play some games. I'm watching my son play Outriders for the first time, and he's playing with the Trickster, and he's having a hard time, Jack. He's having a hard time, Jack.
Trickster's far early on, but once you get
once you get the Trickster right,
15 on Trickster.
Yeah, he's a beast. Yeah, he's still in the beginning, and he's over here. He's like, damn, he's over here just he's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, because you got to get close, you know.
Yeah, because you're close. But
shotguns.
Okay, so I'm sorry I said there was the last topic, but I got one more, and this can be a yes or a no, and we can get out of here. And that is, do Sony want Game Pass? Because there's articles that's alluding that Sony wants their version of Game Pass. Do you see it happening? Yes or no? And if you want to have a little something to say about it at the end, go ahead. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to make a video about it later on.
And I have that quick copy. I have no expectations if it's going to be good or utter crap, but they'll try to have their kind of imitation and knowing Sony, I don't really expect much from them, but hey, surprise me, Sony, because I've been saying you have so much back content that you could just destroy Game Pass in terms of back compat like old titles to offer like Netflix style. Like, but you guys got to put in a lot of that work, and you ain't put in no work at all when it comes to that. So I don't really expect it to happen soon, if at all.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
I don't.
Go ahead.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Ooh. Okay.
Not saying that they shouldn't. I definitely, and I hate to put it this way, and I hope I don't roast me, but I feel like right now, as far as the direction I'm seeing Sony go in and the direction I'm seeing in Game Pass, I don't know if the bottom line for them right now is worth it to do something similar verbatim as to what Game Pass is. And on the other side, as things are right now, I kind of hope they don't. And the only reason why I'm saying that is right now, there is no storage solution for the PS5.
Talk about it. Now, I was waiting for it, man.
And that's just what it is. That's just what it is, because as of right now, as a Game Pass person, I'm not deleting things, but I'm definitely looking at my games like, all right, I'm going to put you to the hard drive real quick, and I'll bring it back once I put down that 220.
Yeah,
man.
That's why I bought that cartridge day one. I knew that was going to happen.
You got to make sacrifices. You can move it, let it marinate, and bring it back. But as of right this second, PS5 cannot do that because you don't have any other solution for games to, do what it needs to. And the other thing with PlayStation, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, you cannot just download the game with the space that you are allotted. And that's the issue I got with my PS4 right now. If the game is 50 gigs, you need 100. Yeah. So if you get something equivalent to Game Pass, don't think it's going to happen, but if you do, that downloading storage issue, that's got to come first. You got to figure that out first. And as of right now, I'm not sure if that's a priority.
Well, it's supposed to come out in the summer that they said.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, cool. That's good. But let's get that storage situated first. Get some prices, because we don't know the prices either.
Facts.
Yes, right. Real quick. I just want to say real quick. I think remember the whole debate early last generation when like the installation times of PlayStation games versus Xbox games, like on disc, like how it was so much faster for the PlayStation compared to the way the Xbox was doing it. But that was when physical media still had the lead, and Rain was talking about that earlier. Now it seems Microsoft is faster, even at the end of last generation, when everybody was mainly focused on digital. If you notice, that's not an issue anymore, and I think it's because of how they implemented their installation and like update infrastructure, let's call it, right? It's better for a digital than a physical install off of a disc. I think it just seems to work better when you need to update it and stuff. You don't need double the space because you're making a whole copy of the game. Maybe I have no idea what's going on. That they could possibly need, twice the size of the game, but it's got to be something stupid like that. So yeah, that's another reason why I don't think Game Pass or an idea like that could really be implemented on PlayStation effectively.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So anybody else before we sign out? All right. Okay. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. It's excellent. I'm gonna go here and talk to this crazy looking boy right here. Now he finally got past this level. He finally got past this level. So send the people out here in the chat. They saying go ahead, Rival X, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? You lost
Welcome to the deep end.
Yeah. You lost some skills, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'll play you some Call of Duty right now. We whoop your ass anyway. So and if you want some Tekken, he can definitely get that work from Nats. You know how we do around here. So anyway, thank you, Delilah HD, coming back to the house. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it must be. It ain't Christmas. It ain't Thanksgiving. You just made a random visit, just coming out. I mean, everybody's over here getting their vaccine shots. Hopefully, everybody is doing that. And so, you know what I'm saying? You said, hey, look, I ain't been around the family in a while, so let me come back.
we were chopping it up, we were chatting, and I was okay,
Yeah. So we're gonna have to get the rest of the kinfolk back. You know what I'm saying? To come on GRG for sure. But where everybody can find, no doubt, where everybody can find you at, Delilah, talk about your crew.
Yeah, so you all know you can follow me on Twitter, Delilah_HD. You can catch me every Saturday on Growing Game at 9 a.m. Eastern. I have to always I struggle
Hey,
with the time.
hey, I'm over here looking. I'm looking at Lady Infamous. Listen, y'all heifers can go kind of long yourselves. I've been in those chats. You know what I'm saying? I've been in those.
Come on now. We gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it. We do not. We try to cap our show under 2 hours. We got a whole 2-year history of that. So
I got you. I got you.
But yeah. So definitely. Thank you for everyone for engaging and listening in the chat. This has been awesome, and just kind of going back and forth with some of the comments on there, and it was just nice to be on here again. So thank you for having me, and I'll keep up with all you all after the show. So yeah.
No doubt.
Thank you.
Yes, D, the new sensation. You know what I'm saying? What's happening, man? I'm sorry that you was having a bad day, but hopefully a little bit of this GRG life got you right. You know what I'm saying? There was people that were giving you ladies a lot of compliments, saying, "Oh, ladies, they're just bringing quality to the podcast." That's lady gamers are absolutely amazing. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I think more podcasts should bring more ladies to the table because there are diehard lady gamers out there, and listening to what you say, D, and just the Delilah and Infamous and all the rest of the ladies out there, you know what I'm saying, Lady Foxfire, and Mitchie, all that. You guys have a strong voice in the community, you know what I'm saying, and I want to push it hard as I fucking can. So where can they find you at? And thank you so much for coming back on again.
Yes, I'm on Twitter at Gingy's mom, so that's me. I'm in the chat as far as YouTube, Quiet and Higher, and I'm on Xbox. That's also in my bio, and PS4. But yeah, just quick shout out to Grown Women Gaming. They were the first Twitter account that I saw that were Black women playing games, and I think it was Lady Infamous posting. I think she was just murking in Call of Duty, and I was just like, oh, the work, and I had to follow. And it's just like I found everybody else, L Boogie, Delilah_HD, and I was just like, I'm really geeked right now. So I just want to shout them out real fast because they're like the first that I came across, because I felt really alone, and I put all my other female friends onto it, and I'm just so humbled. But yeah, that's it.
And now, you know what I'm saying, look, K-Man gonna have to brag a little bit.
Oh boy.
Who did that? Who brought that to the table? No, I'm playing. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna do that. No,
Lady Infamous did.
Yeah. Lady Infamous out there. No, listen. The ladies has been kicking ass. Listen, you know what I'm saying, I missed you guys when y'all left, and I understood the reasons. You know what I'm saying, because of the situation. Regardless of whatever here or there, but you know what I'm saying, I have so much love for y'all. Respect, Delilah. You was the first person I came to when I was starting GRG. You know what I'm saying? And you was so
I still stand by the fact that I thought of the name, but
you didn't like the name, but you know what? Listen.
That's my name, fam. That was all me.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But no, you were saying game recognized game. I did gamers recognize games.
I got
you know what I'm saying?
It's cool.
It's cool. But regardless, you know what I'm saying? I remember, you know what I'm saying, Delilah was so sweet and tender. She was like, I don't know. I just don't know if people want to listen.
You gotta tell the story every time. I mean,
I do every time you come through. I don't know, Mecca. I don't know. And I'm like, Delilah, you have a great voice.
I mean, he's trying to do like falsetto and like.
I'm saying,
it's not working for you. It's not working.
Anyway,
God damn
it. But anyway, no, to see you ladies and where y'all have gone and what y'all doing and what y'all gonna keep doing, I couldn't be more proud of and that means everybody that's been a part of GRG, man, for real. I have so much love for everybody. People may think I got animosity or hate in my heart because some people left, some people stayed. Hell no, it's never that. We did this together, and that's the one thing about it. So I hope you ladies much success, and yeah, thank you. Thank you for accepting my invite to come on to be a part of this. You know what I'm saying? The part of this journey, for sure. So anyway.
No problem.
Oh, go ahead. What was you gonna say?
I was saying no problem at all.
Oh, okay. All right. So there we go. Still rain. I gave him the invite. I saw the potential. He had that smooth voice. I said, listen, this brother right here, you know what I'm saying? And he was light skinned. Of course he had to be on the show. He had to be.
Oh, that was part of the stipulation. Huh?
Well, yeah, and now I got a beard too now. So I mean, like I was like, it is now official. It is a part of it's part of of what we do here at GRG. You gotta be light skinned, you gotta have a beard, or you can be a lady. It doesn't matter what, you know.
I'm out. I didn't know that was the stipulations.
There's no stipulation.
Oh God.
No. I do still reign. I was listening to. I was like, oh, this dude is smooth as shit. I'm like, yeah, man. Yeah, come on down. So, man, thank you, brother, for coming on here. Talk about what you got going on, brother.
Hey, man, look, man. Again, K Mega, man, I just appreciate you for welcoming the rain into the GRG kingdom, man.
Oh, no doubt.
PK, Sig, D, Lila, I appreciate y'all for coming out like always. Look, man, every Friday night, 8 p.m. We right here at GRG, coming at you live, raw and uncut, like I always do. And then Saturday mornings, because I like to wake you up and give you that energy, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. UK time for those overseas. Look, Living Split Screen, the morning show with my brother from another Pong Soul, where we just give it to you in an energetic way, give you that booster shot that you might need for your morning and get your weekend right. We talk about everything that's in the gaming field. It's not any platform specific, and we just give it to you in a type of way that we feel like is a little bit different than most people might give it to you. And it's on the weekend. Why not, right? But anyway, yeah, you can catch us on that, Living Split Screen. You can follow me everywhere. I Still Reign. Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation, wherever. Yeah, man, that's about it. Appreciate y'all for coming out. Chat, y'all been lovely. Y'all were getting into it tonight. And other than that, man, much love to everybody. Let's get to it.
No doubt, man. Go check out the Living Split Screen, you know what I'm saying? Really positive podcast. I missed the podcast last week. I couldn't find it. I didn't know what the hell was going on. And so, but you know what I'm saying, I definitely will be there tomorrow. Tomorrow morning. No, it's not 12 o'clock yet. So yeah. Tomorrow morning.
Yeah, facts. So we'll put out the links and whatnot an hour.
Shut your mouth! Shut your mouth! East Coast don't matter.
Future. Respect.
Speaking of the future, what's going on with you, brother? What you got going on Saturdays as well? What's going on with you, Slick Slayer? Give you sign outs, brother.
So, you can find me everywhere great games are played, and now that includes Oculus if the package ever gets here after.
No. We're not talking about that.
No. I'm just saying. Anyway, great games are played. But can I finish my line, please? So, you can find me right here every Friday on GRG. You can find me quite oftentimes either on Sega Man channel, 100's channel.
I gotta bring
Retro Renegades on Tuesday. Oh yeah, he's always in the chat. Always supporting.
I need to bring Sega Man on.
In fact, he and I did a video today about my gaming past and history and stuff. We did a video today. Later this afternoon, we did one. And and you can find me on Retro Renegades on Tuesdays quite often. And tomorrow, 7 p.m., 108 Dragons TV. Yes, 108 Dragons TV.
What's
we
happening?
got the 2021 Dynamic Duo Rookie Sensations. Last year was myself and PK. We was on everybody's show, and we still do it like that. But the new team, okay? Not old and busted, the new hotness. My boy, Steel Rain.
That new.
Pong Soul. And the homie PK, myself, and 108 Dragons TV. Please come and join, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's a celebration every week.
All right.
Peace.
Excellent. All right, PK. You know what I'm saying? Where can we find you at, man? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, this man got codes. This man got interviews. He over here he was talking some trash tonight. He was like, "Yo, I talked to her personally, and we
You hear the hate, PK? That's how you know you're doing good.
Hey, I'm gonna make. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start making some calls too. I'm gonna say, hey, look, I'm K-Mega 405 from GRG. I want you to come on my show, and then they'll probably say, who? Okay, go ahead, PK. Well, go ahead, PK.
You can catch me here every Friday on GRG, and definitely 4G QTV on Thursdays, and Dragon's Den on Saturday, and definitely gonna be restarting my show soon.
Okay.
Just getting a little rebranding done, and gonna definitely starting up, keep the excitement going, and I'm definitely check out everybody's show. Just keep on support and be supported.
No doubt. You know what I'm saying? I got these black folk working out here, boy. I got them working. You know what I'm saying? I said, look, we gotta get some people out here that gonna work.
Look at them.
You know what I'm saying? Look at that. I got some black folk that gonna work. They can't be talking about we lazy and shit. So we out here, we doing the damn thing. Thank you guys so much. I'm not gonna go left. I'm about to get the hell out of here. Thank you so much. And also check us out on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, on SoundCloud, on Google Play, on LinkedIn,
So everywhere.
Every damn where except for iTunes. For some reason, they tripping about my damn logo.
Apple.
Shit, Apple is just be tripping. But anyway,
Apple.
yeah, Apple's going Apple. But other than that, come and check us out. The
Got
links
that
in the
right.
description. Go check everybody out. Thank you so much. God bless. Have a good weekend. I'm about to go sit here and look at my son get his ass kicked in this game. Other than that,
R.I.P. DMX.
Fight Night, RIP to DMX. Fight Night Sunday will return, and we will be doing Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So that will be the first game that we'll play, and that's going to be fun as hell. All right, guys. Thank you. Good night. Peace.
Hey, thanks for checking out the GRG podcast. All your gaming news and our special topic of the week. Make sure to join us every Friday night, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, and 6:30 Pacific. This was the GRG podcast.